Hello everybody, welcome to the World Triathlon Multisport World Championships, the opening day of competition from Townsville in Queensland, Australia. Welcome to what is an amazing 11 days of triathlon and duathlon action. Incredible scenes over Townsville, North Queensland. Last night, the opening ceremony saw over 3,000 athletes from around 39 countries make their way to our beautiful city for what is going to be an amazing few weeks of competition. This afternoon, we kick things off with the 2024 World Triathlon Duathlon Sprint. We start with the elite and under 23 women. Incredible visuals around our amazing city, Magnetic Island, just 20 minutes off the coastline from Townsville. Beautiful beaches, incredible bays, and 24 kilometres of walking trails, and so close to the Great Barrier Reef. It is the home to Northern Australia's largest colony of koalas. Spectacular location, and look at the scenery. This is what our athletes will be seeing while they're here as part of their journey to the World Championships in Townsville. Right on the doorstep of Australia, and now from the view on Castle Hill. It's only a couple of metres short of a mountain. The giant pink granite monolith that showcases our city, and of course the Great Barrier Reef. Stunning views of one of the world's great wonders and the Museum of Underwater Art. Tourists from around the world now travelling to see this incredible piece of artwork off our coast and the Great Barrier Reef. It is just absolutely stunning, and today we get to showcase it even more. Once again, Castle Hill in the background from our location on the beautiful Strand. Hello, my name is Glenn Minturn, hosting this incredible journey here in Townsville, and in the commentary box with me, Toby Coote. Toby, welcome to Townsville. You are a man that bleeds this kind of sporting event, and I know you are just so pumped for what we're about to see.
Oh mate, we've got some of the best coming here to the World Championships, and we're looking forward to bringing this on this afternoon, that's for sure. As
we look around the city, this is at our main blue carpet, the start-finish line for the World Triathlon on the beautiful Strand. The beach is only metres away. It is an absolute stunning view, and there, have a look at that shot. The rock pools down on the bottom left where people go to swim. Kissing Point, a celebration of so much that is our military history in Townsville, and up on the top right, the beautiful Castle Hill. It is absolutely stunning, and today we get our athletes to run in this beautiful part of the world. Toby, let's talk about the course that is up for our duathlon today. Run, bike, run. Talk us through this course in front of us.
So you'll see where the start-finish line is. That's where our athletes will take off from this afternoon. We have a two-lap run to start off with, so 5 kilometres. And they'll make their way out through the Jezine barracks, and then they'll follow down. We can see the Kissing Point boardwalk, which is going to be the showcase of our runners are going through. And at this stage, with the wind playing around out there, it's going to be very hot out there for our athletes. But they'll flow through the Jezine barracks. They'll take a left-hand turn, make their way down Cook Street, where they'll do another U-turn, back into the backsides down where Rose Bay is, and then make their way back up. They'll go around a roundabout, and then they'll complete 2 laps for our first run. Onto the bike course, as you see right there, along the Strand, in and out through the parks, down to Oxley Street, where we'll see their U-turn down there. They'll make their way all the way back, and just to make it a little bit more interesting, we're going to go down Landsborough Street, down to the U-turn point. We've just been sitting down there watching the athletes go through, and it's quite warm through this section. And then they'll make their way back down, 4 laps on our bike course.
If you were to look at the course, you would say in so many cases it is quite flat, but eyes are deceiving, and we're going to talk to you more about that very shortly. But as you can see, it is a picturesque day in Townsville, North Queensland here today. This is what we love. Scattered cloud around today, but you can see very little over us. 25 degrees centigrade and humidity of 69%. And the crowds have come out today. As I mentioned, we had a massive night last night, the opening ceremony. The athletes of the world descended on Strand Park right in the middle of the cycle course. It was so incredible to see all the flags of all the nations here, almost 39 countries, Toby. This is a real celebration of sport.
It is, and we're here for 11 days of going through this as well. And it's going to be brutal out there for our athletes. We had our age group athletes this morning, and then this afternoon we're going to go with our elite male and female under 23s. And you know, we've just been sitting out there just before. The wind hasn't changed like we thought it would. We're not getting that sea breeze coming through, which has actually increased the temperatures. So if the wind does change, it will be nice for the back end of the races, but we're not expecting that at this stage.
we have 19 World Championships up for grabs over the next 11 days here in Townsville. As you mentioned earlier today, the age groups, we've just had the juniors out on track, but now we go really to the big guns. The elite under-23 women and the elite and under-23 men to follow straight on from this. It really is pretty exciting. I know today you can just feel it. Everyone's pretty excited.
And it's, as we said, we've got some cracking field here, Minty, that's for sure.
Well, let's have a look at the start list, some of the elite women, and you've picked out a couple that you want to concentrate. First up, wearing the number 49 from Japan, Ayuida. What a magnificent background she's got.
She has. She's a three-time Olympian, three times Duathlon World Championship podium over 21 to 23, so 2021, 22, 23. And has a second and 2/3 there, so she's one to watch out for sure.
Number 47 from France is Marianne Legrand, another one to watch.
Yeah, she's the 2023 and 2024 European Duathlon champion, and we will showcase a lot about that because that is the prestigious event in Europe.
Wearing the number 46 out of Singapore, Louisa Marie Middleditch.
Yeah, she's the 2024 African Duathlon champion.
From Team GBR in the number 51, Phoebe Barker.
And another one, she finished 4th there at the European Duathlon Championship, so she wasn't far off Marion there in that race.
And another name that's definitely in the mix is Aussie Charlotte McShane. She's wearing the number 52, and she's got a lot of chance in this one.
She has. She's a 2-times Commonwealth Games representative. She was the under-23 World Champion, Triathlon Champion in 2013. And in 2017, part of our champion mixed relay team.
She's definitely in the mix. We caught up with Charlotte yesterday after the athletes briefing just to get a bit of an idea of what she was thinking coming into today's race.
Yeah, so this is going to be my first duathlon for a long, long time. I think maybe I raced them when I was a little kid, but I haven't done any at this level. I'm excited. I'm nervous. Definitely feel like I'm going into the unknown. I haven't really prepared myself for it either, and you know, I know it's going to be super tough. These duathletes they're strong athletes. There's a reason why I think a lot of triathletes try and stay away from duathlon, and it is because it's just so tough. So I'm excited, but also a little bit nervous about it. Yeah, when I found out the multi-sport championships were here in Australia, you know, I thought I can't really miss the opportunity to come up here and race. We don't often get to race at home, so, you know, even though it's a duathlon and not my preferred duathlon, it's still such a cool opportunity. Yeah, my preference was the cross triathlon, so originally I only signed up to do that. I've raced cross triathlon before, not for 8 years, so it was a long time ago, but you know, I was looking forward to doing the challenge of that, and then I just decided last minute, why not? Why don't I just do it all? So I'm doing the duathlon, cross triathlon, cross duathlon, and the aquathon. I decided to skip the long course race, but gonna see how I go.
Charlotte McShane, someone who's pretty excited, as she said, nervous, not her preferred competition, but a lot of these athletes are mixing it up and doing a number of competitions while they're here.
That's right, and I mean, you're not going to travel all the way to Australia, especially from Europe, to come into there. So.
All right, let's have a look at our under-23 athletes starting list as well. We've got a number of athletes here that you want to take a look at. Let's start with Jeannie Dupont, wearing the number 58 from Belgium.
Yeah, second at the European Duathlon Champs, and also she took out the under-23 title. So to finish second as an under-23, you know, like, she's definitely one to watch out for, that's for sure.
Absolutely. And also you've picked out a couple of Aussies to keep an eye on in this race in the under-23 women. First up, wearing the number 60, Australian Rochelle Hill.
Yeah, as champion today. Last year she had a breakout season where she finished second in the 2024 Oceania Triathlon Championships. She finished third at the Oceania Sprint Champs and finished second at the prestigious Noosa Triathlon behind Ashley Gentle. So we know the calibre of what an athlete Ashley Gentle is, and Rochelle's probably one of those next ones knocking on the door to come through.
Now, the other good news for Rochelle, one of her teammates has just had some success in the junior men, so that might help her a little bit with what's going on at it, of course.
Exactly. Training partner Fletcher Medway took out that junior title, and you know, he'll be able to give her a bit of knowledge leading into her race.
Yeah, absolutely. We know that comes in handy. And number 61, also Aspen Anderson, one more to watch from Australia.
Exactly. She's the current Oceania and Junior Triathlon, Australian Junior Triathlon champion, Youth Com Games champion, and a 2 times National Cross Country champion. So watch out for Aspen.
One of the things we talked about around this course, there are some real anomalies. We talk about areas where there's a little bit of rise and areas where there's not a lot of wind either. So on a hot day like today, you can get stuck in some of these back streets where the cycling and riding happens and running happens, that you just don't get that air. That oxygen level drops down a little bit and the temperature's quite warm for a lot of athletes. All right, well, let's go down for our introductions of our technical officials with Pete Murray.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the race technical officials of the 2024 World Triathlon Duathlon Championships Townsville. Leading the technical team today, our technical delegate Ross Capil from New Zealand, head referee Michael Weiss from Australia, and medical delegate Dr. Jonathan King, Australia. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the elite women athletes of the 2024 World Triathlon Duathlon Championships, Townsville. Wearing 46 from Singapore, Louisa Marie Middleditch. Wearing 47 from France, 2021 Duathlon World Champion, bronze medalist, Ariane Legland. Wearing 49 from Japan, the 2013 Duathlon World Champion, also one-time Duathlon World Champion, silver medalist and 2 times bronze medalist from Japan, A. Ueda. Wearing number 50 from Singapore, Man Yung Yong. Wearing 51 from Great Britain, Phoebe Barker. Number 52 from Australia, the 2013 Under-23 World Champion and 2017 World Triathlon Champion from Australia. Give it up for Charlotte McShane. Number 53 from Great Britain, Chloe Dooley. 54 from Germany, Julia Klein. Wearing number 58 from Belgium, the Under-23 Duathlon European Champion in 2024, Jean Depoint. Wearing 59 from Japan, Mayo Shimasaki. Wearing number 60 from Australia, Rochelle Hill. Wearing 61 from Australia, Aspen Anderson. Wearing 62 from Japan, Naomi Kadaki. Number 63 from Australia, Kelsey Mitchell. And our final athlete from Germany, wearing number 64, Annika Fabae. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is our elite women and under-23 athletes of the 2024 World Triathlon Duathlon Championship. We are now just over 1 minute from race start. This is the World Triathlon Multisport World Championship, Townsville 2024. Our elite women, under-23 women, some of the world's best athletes. We got defending champions. We got world duathlon champions, world champions in this race as well.
Less than a minute to go. We're not far away from race start. The elite and under 23 women. It is a tricky course. It can look simple, Toby, but there are conditions out there that everyone's going to find a little difficult at times during this event. We are gearing up for the elite and under 23 women 2024 World Triathlon Duathlon Sprint Championship from Townsville, Australia. Less than 20 seconds to go. The build-up begins now. And away we go. We're racing in Townsville for this World Championship event. This is one of those moments where it's like everybody's just got to work out exactly where they fit pretty early on, right, Toby? It's one of those situations that from the air you probably don't get to see that little bit of elevation. And I know we've talked about it a lot many times over the years for events that have held in Townsville. We talk about a flat, fast track. But as you said, as you've been out and run this, those tricky little rises are enough to catch you out.
Like I said, the beauty of having two Aussie girls out there in front is that they can actually work together. And that's not something we're probably going to see between Aspen and also Rochelle.
So early on, the Aussie girls have already started to make a little bit of a statement. It's a long way to go, but I tell you what, if you can get that break now, that can help you out a lot as you get to the bike, depending on what you're good at, running or riding, because sometimes make the most of what you're good at, establish that lead.
Exactly. Both these are world-class runners within Australia. And then racing against, the second girls, which we've got a lot of Europeans there, that we showcase that European Championships, which is what happened in June. We saw a lot of good results out of it. But, Rochelle, back here we've got a big race called the Bridge to Brisbane that, Rochelle finished second at, I think it was, and under, she ran low 34s. Yeah. Aspen's a cross-country national champion twice, and she's actually backing up and going to national cross-country next week.
This is a spectacular location as they make their way up through Jazeen Barracks. This was the location of our armed forces for many, many years. In fact, the Brigadier of the Army in this part of the world still lives on site. Not far from where they are as they come up towards the area where they will go past the transition. Just on the opposite, on the right-hand side of where they are is where the bike transition is. Just at the top of that shot is where you will see the home of the Brigadier, which is quite amazing.
And this little section that we've got here, Minty, they're going straight down, a little bit of a downhill section, and they'll come down and they'll make a U-turn very shortly, and then it's a false flat making their way back up. But when we're sitting there and we're looking at runners, we're looking very leg speed turnover. Both you can see both Rochelle and Aspen they're ticking over quite nicely. Really relaxed through the shoulders. Good running gait that we can see as they make that turnaround point. And the other girls, that looks like Charlotte McShane there in third. They're just starting to bridge back onto the back of these girls, but they've just had that little downhill section. So you can sit back and relax a little bit, and you can use that to get the leg speed turning over. You can see the girls, they've just made that U-turn, and you can see they've picked their leg cadence back up again, and you can just see they're just starting to string them back out again.
One of those things, why not put a little tester out early? What about the build-up for this? Obviously, knowing the weather conditions that they're going to get here in Townsville. Obviously, most of the Aussie girls, some have come from down south where it is winter. Very different winter conditions to here in Townsville. What sort of things they have to do to make sure they're ready for this kind of weather situation?
They're probably, some would actually run in like shirts and jumpers just to get used to that little bit more heat and acclimatisation. The Europeans, they come out of summer, but their summer are not similar to what our summer's like. And, when we come to a place like Townsville in the tropics, you talk about humidity straight away, and that's probably one of the things that we're going to see, maybe not in the first lap, maybe not in the second lap, but at the back end of this race, you might see them starting to spread out a little bit more.
And what about the other thing? Obviously, as we see three Aussies at the front of the pack, that camaraderie, they're running for themselves, they're running for their countries. A lot of these girls will have run against each other a lot. Does it help to have that little pack mentality of Aussies running together?
Oh, of course, and also you're on home soil, so Aussies there on a world championship here in Australia. Yes, they want to go well and go that way, and they're going to go out there and they're going to do the best that they can, and we know that, and we can just see the Baker there from Great Britain just starting to tow those other girls just on the back. This is this section here now. We've got that little bit of a downhill, so it's a good place to sit there and try and bridge that little bit of a gap onto the girls.
You see the sights around this city, quite extraordinary, and for many people, you wouldn't be aware, but we were due to have the championships here way back in 2020 when COVID hit, and of course, things have got bumped out over the years. Finally, come to 2024, the athletes of the world have come for the World Championships, and as a city, we are so excited to see everyone arrive.
And you've turned the weather on, Minty. It's absolutely perfect out here for our athletes. Tuesday wasn't as good, but like I said, it's turned on for today.
Hard to believe. We very rarely see rain in North Queensland in August. Go back to Sunday and Monday of this week, we had over 100 millimetres of rainfall, which is just unheard of in North Queensland. As we get to another one of the turning points down on the waterfront, it really is spectacular. I mean, we see some great courses around the world, but spectacular, we have absolutely nailed it.
Oh, mate, we couldn't have asked for a better day, that's for sure. This section here, they're about to go through that Kissing Point boardwalk, which we'll see very shortly. This is probably a pivotal point that we'll probably see in the race, probably at the back end, that if there's going to be a breakaway or if you want to put some pressure on it, this is probably one of the sections on this run course that they're going to want to put that pressure on and go through. But at the moment, you can see, what have we got, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 girls there all together. And they're just holding in there, probably just a little bit of cat and mouse, looking at each other, just testing each other out, going through. Rochelle Hill there still leading the charge. The Great Britain girl, Barker, she's just making her way into that second place. It looks like Aspen Anderson there right on her shoulder, Charlotte McShane. See the Belgium colours there on the back. Wow. That'll be the under-23 European champion, finished second there. That is Jean Dupont. So, that's what we're looking at, but we can see that hill there is just starting to stretch the legs out a little bit more again, and then we're going to see these little ebbs and flows throughout this 5-kilometre run. This
is quite a historic area that they're running through here. Jazeen Barracks was basically military control from 1885 through to 2006, when the military handed it back to the city of Townsville. Development happened, the boardwalks were put in, the visitor area is quite spectacular, and now we get to showcase it to the world through our World Championship. So up here, you'll see there is a monument to the past in our military history. And again, the athletes won't be paying much attention to that right now, but they are running through a very historic area.
Mate, I'll tell you, they're in a hurt locker at the moment. They're going in and going through, that is for sure. Ayu Ida, a Japanese lady there, that's our 3-time Olympian. So she's just sitting there. We'll use this little downhill section to try and get back onto the back. And the French lady there, Marianne Legrand as well. Just sitting in there nicely. I know she's also doing the World Long Course, and a lot of our athletes are backing up and doing. We've got a cross tri, we've got cross duathlon, and also the aquathlon and also long course.
We talked about it a little bit earlier, but there are areas here that don't get that wind, and the wind isn't extreme this afternoon. We've had windier afternoons over the last couple of days. It may change later, but that will certainly be a zapper for some of these athletes as we get into the back end of the run a little bit later.
Oh, correct. That's for sure. So that back end there, we just went up Kissing Point. That's where the wind's coming through, where over the last couple of days there has been no wind there. It was going to be brutal, but coming back down here, they've got that wind behind them. This is where it'll be that little bit warmer coming in and through. Down to the roundabout, this is going to end lap number 1. They'll go back around and follow lap 2. When we come back in the next time, they'll be going straight through into transition.
Now, you are a coach in this sport. You've had one of your athletes just run in the junior division just before we kicked off this event. What are you as a coach telling your athletes coming into this first lap?
Know where your opposition is. They'll have a game plan going through. The first thing is about relaxing, making sure that you're holding form, technique, and ticking over. And you can see the girls there, they're all pretty comfortable at the moment. They're probably not really laying it down just at this stage. We may see them at the back end of this run do that to try and get a bit of a break in between. It is a draft legal bike course, 4 laps that they're going to go into. So you want to have some people with you, but you don't want to have a massive pack as well. So you'll know what ladies you can work with. They'll know their opposition. They'll know where they want to get to and go. And you can just see every time we hit this little bit of an uphill, you can just see Rochelle puts that little bit of pressure on there, and we start to see them string out. Then they come back on that downhill. They're all taking water. We do know it's warm out there, so that's going to be vital throughout this whole race.
So how pivotal is that as a coach to reinforce to your athlete to make sure you get hydrated and don't miss one of those opportunities?
Well, that's the hard thing sometimes. You try and give them those prompts to be able to do that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, they're professional athletes. They know what they're doing. They know that they need to be hydrated going into it, and also make sure that they keep topping those levels up throughout the race.
Now, one of the interesting parts of this race is that we have the women and the under-23s competing at the same time. And, of course, with Rochelle Hill, under-23 runner. So she could win both events, being an under-23 and running in the women. So she could be the winner overall.
Correct. That's the exciting part about this. It gives those under-23s an opportunity to race against the elites, and then they can test themselves against it. Aspen Anderson, who we can just see in the background there in 4th place, she's actually junior. So she's still got another year in juniors, but she's up there racing the under 23s. But you can see the ladies there just starting to really put the pressure on. Barker from Great Britain and Legrand there also from France. So they're our 3 leading girls with Rochelle Hill.
And a pretty good calibre of runners for Rochelle to compete against today. 10 minutes into our elite and under 23 women world championship. Of course, the men's event will be right on the back end of our women's race today. And these 3 have certainly broken away to a little bit of a group to 4th and 5th places. So the field has certainly broken up into this second run leg.
That is, yeah. It's actually surprising to see that it actually has splintered that much. But, like I said, they're just starting to get into that rhythm and go through. Barker there out on the front. You can just see like the shoulders up nice and high, good arm swing turnover. The legs are ticking over nicely. All 3 girls, perfect style that we got there. They all look pretty relaxed there. So they're watching each other, seeing what's going on and making their moves when they need to. So
through the turnaround, gets to give you a bit of an idea of how far the opposition is away from you. This is our run leg number 1, 5Ks, 2.5K laps before we hit the bike. It's a 20K circuit, and that is going to be interesting because these girls have now, as you said, a group of 3, much better when you get to the ride than having a group of 6, 7, 8 or 9.
Correct, and that's going to be the big difference. And they're probably the stronger riders that we're going to have in this field as well. So they know if they're all together, then they can control what goes on out there. Being there in front, getting into the transition, it just sets your area up just that little bit easier. You don't have to probably go in and panic as much as probably what the girls behind because they know they're going to have to try and catch these front 3 ladies.
So already those gaps start to open up to 8 to 12 seconds, which is pretty handy for our 3 leading athletes. Around about 3.6K into the run, 5K first up, and then of course right at the end another 2.5K. So 1 more lap of this circuit after they've done the bike leg to wrap up our 2024 World Triathlon Duathlon Sprint Championship here in Townsville today. So a pretty handy lead. When does it start to bite? When does it start to really kick in for these girls? I mean, the pace has been pretty smart out front for these 3.
You can just see the pressure's getting put on right now. Barker there from Great Britain is really just starting to lay it down. There is a little bit of a not tailwind, but a downward section here. So they're just opening up that level, and you can just see it just springs out a little bit. You can just see Rochelle there starting to lean back just a little bit. There's just that little bit of a gap starting to open. So when you're talking about pressure, Minty, there we're seeing it right now unfold right here on the camera. Yeah. You can just see that gap opening up.
A couple of metres already for Phoebe Barker in the number 51 from Great Britain leading the way. Rochelle Hill in 2nd place, not too far away in the 47 from France, Marianne Legrand. So high caliber of athletes, and it really does look like Phoebe Barker has kicked that pace up a little bit as she gets closer to that transition to the bike.
Yeah, you can just see they're just starting to tap back on, but as you said, Phoebe, she finished 4th at the European Duathlon Champs. Marianne was the actual Duathlon champion in the European Champs, so that's probably the gauge that we're looking at from the European side.
Yep.
Rochelle, predominantly a triathlete. She's been over doing a few races through Asia in the off season and that stuff where, she's been performing quite well. Where she finished, is in Osaka, I think it was. She went over there and had a really good race and podiumed over there. So they've all got their own difference with what they're doing, but it looks like they're the 3 that are on song today.
So a couple of coaches there with some encouraging words. As a coach, what are you saying as they're getting close now with just on a kilometre to go before they get on the bike?
You're setting up for transition now, so you're starting to think about the little things that you need to go through with and do a duathlon transition, going from shoes to take your shoes off, put the helmet on to take the bike off, opposed to having swim goggles and that kind of stuff. So you're doing the reverse. So when you're coming into that transition area, you're thinking about, okay, where are my shoes going to be? So when I get off the bike,
yep,
I know where they're going to be. So it's thinking about those 1%ers that could save you 5 seconds and going in and going through that way. Not so much they have to worry about the boxes that we'll see in transition shortly where all their equipment needs to go into, but they will need that for the second one when they come in and put the helmets into that. So without those, there's penalties. So the first transition is quite easy for them. It's just that second one, making sure everything goes into that box.
Because those little faults can certainly catch you out. And, of course, there are distances with the mounting of the bike as well. You don't want to ever get those incorrect. So our top 3 runners in our elite and under 23 women closing in on transition now. Out in front, it's still Phoebe Barker from Great Britain, Rochelle Hill from Australia, and Marion Legrand from France. Our top 3 as they come back off the boardwalk and make their way back down towards transition. Of course, with Jazine Barracks as the beautiful backdrop. This is beautiful pictures going out to the world. Of course, Townsville is quite incredibly situated between 2 UNESCO World Heritage listed ecosystems, the Great Barrier Reef and Paluma Rainforest, officially certified as an eco destination. Why would you not want to come here?
Oh, mate, we come here all the time. You know, we love this place. But at this point in the run, they're 500 metres from transition. So, and you can see Phoebe just starting to get the legs turning over. This is all downhill into transition, so she's setting herself up. She wants that little bit of a gap going in there. She wants that clear air. You can see Marion starting to make her way through from France, with Rochelle still just sitting in there. But you know, Marion's been sitting on the back of these 3 for the whole run, so you know, she's buying her time. She knows what she's doing, and you know, you don't get to that level without understanding. Duathlons are hard. They are a different breed, because all of a sudden you've gone from being fast run, so you've got the lactic in the leg straight away. Now to get onto the bike and try and ride, it's a different cattle to what a lot of our athletes are used to by going swim, bike and run.
So they'll come around to the turnaround point, which is not far from the finish line. You see the penalty box off to the right-hand side. Fortunately, none of the ladies in this event have to serve any penalties as they do that little turn, heading up towards transition.
And also they would have been checking that penalty box to make sure their numbers aren't on there, so they don't have to serve a penalty.
Right, you can see it here, our course announcer, Pete Murray in the background, welcoming the 3 ladies into transition. This is what you want to get right.
You see Rochelle just went past her bike and back to it. You want to be nice and clean, helmets on as a clip. You can't take your bike off until your helmet's done up. And you can see she's just made her way out.
So we start to see an overhead shot. This is the strand, and Barker's had some trouble with her transition on the bike. And Marion Legrand from France has got away a little bit. Rochelle Hill now in tail. The strand, the beautiful waters on the left-hand side of Cleveland Bay out towards Magnetic Island as you head out further into the Great Barrier Reef and out to the Pacific Ocean. It's quite a stunning location, and the girls now get on the bike and check out, as you said, some of these little speed humps throughout this course could certainly throw you undone.
Well, that's it. Like I said, there's one speed bump there. We've got a different change in surfaces throughout. It is quite narrow in between, but you can see that the 3 lead girls, 25-second lead over DuPont, Aida and Anderson. And, you know, there's going to break up. So DuPont's going to be on her own, she's 25 seconds down and 35 seconds to the other 2 ladies.
So just a tad over 16 minutes for that opening 5K. So pretty reasonable pace considering the conditions out there today.
Exactly. And you can see that Phoebe's going to have to do a bit of work here to try and get on. She's just getting some hydration in, making her way. This is around the strand area. You can see it is quite narrow in through this section, and this is probably another pivotal point that you can actually get in and probably make a little bit of movement in and out, coming in and through. But perfect area down here. That's where you had the welcome ceremony and all that stuff the other night, Minty.
Yeah, it's a home base. There's a lot of great events that are held in Strand Park, looking straight out over the water to Magnetic Island. And again, you see those little changes in conditions where you have the pedestrian walkways, particularly on the corners. Have to be so careful about that. Making their way down now past some of our landmark hotels and restaurants and cafes with a beautiful view out to the water. And again, a really tricky situation with these roundabouts as well. You don't want to get them wrong.
No, exactly. And you can see just on some of them where the cars have gone through, the lines of where their tyres have gone through have made some little divots in through there. So you've got to follow those lines. You know, they had their course familiarisation the other day, which gave them one opportunity to go out on the course to see what it was like. Most other times when they've been out doing their training, we've had cars on the road and that, so they wouldn't have get a real proper gauge of where they're going through. But as you can see, the girls there, Rochelle there out in front, still making good lead. Phoebe's finding it hard there just to try and bridge that gap. It's stayed about the same. But you can see just her leg turnover is just that little bit quicker than the other girls. So they've just got a little bit more pressure in the pedals, and you can just see that gap just opening up just that little bit more. It's that what we call the elastic band.
Yeah, exactly right. It's one of those things. It is the mentality as we see Middleditch coming into transition. It is a mental game as well, because she was running so well. She's mucked up her transition. She'd be very disappointed with that, but you've got to put that aside real quick because that gap opens real fast.
Exactly, and you can see just even then when she came off the back of that speed bump, because she is trying to work that little bit and putting herself under pressure, the back wheel flung out a little bit. So, riding over these speed bumps, getting your bottom out of the saddle and going through that way.
They've just come past the water park, and over on the left is Tobruk Pool, which is where a lot of our Olympic athletes have trained over the years. Going back to 1956, there are some famous swimmers that have swum on the pools of Tobruk. Let's go back and have a look at that transition. As we saw transition can always be one of those things, and yeah, look, she really just didn't get the feet hooked up and has really struggled right from that moment. Still troubled. That's a lot of time lost in transition.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that's what we talk about. Transition is the fourth part of triathlon now. In the days where, in the early days, transition was there, but it wasn't that. But, you're talking that 1 or 2 seconds of error there has made her miss the front pack.
Yeah, so that gap has certainly opened up. So out in front with a quick look over the shoulder is Marion Legrand from France. Rochelle Hill, it looks like the two are making that opportunity just to work together a little bit. Quick flick of the arms and a look over the shoulder. Rochelle Hill from Australia now, who is an under-23 athlete. So an under-23 leading the World Championships. Great opportunity for Australia to really do well here in the World Championship Duathlon.
And I saw her mum earlier before the race, Rena Hill, and herself, a former Olympian herself, and winner of the Noosa Triathlon, and coaching her daughter, and you can see just that it's very similar. Like the way that they used to race and that kind of stuff. Very not aggressive, but very confident in what they did and that kind of stuff. And Rena's doing the same thing in the coaching scene with what she's done with Rochelle and Fletcher, who won the World Junior Boys.
Absolutely. As they come back down towards Strand Park, past once again some of our great restaurants and hotels with those fantastic views. Strand Park, as I've mentioned earlier, one of those locations for many of our local festivals and events. It really is a showcase for our city. We've got the big community triathlon festival Saturday week. That is always a home base there. It's a beautiful part of our city now, and it didn't used to be like this. There was a massive storm rain event going all the way back to 1999, before the year 2000, and it basically washed out the entire waterfront. That's when the council decided to do this beautification. We now have one of the most stellar beachfronts anywhere in the world, and of course, as you see, Magnetic Island just out on the right-hand side.
This is awesome photos that we're seeing there, Minty. And mate, you'll be loving this. This is your hometown. Looking straight out there, Magnetic Island.
20 minutes. It's 20 minutes by ferry. It's one of the closest islands to the mainland. It is inhabited. The locals just absolutely love it. As we see the girls coming back through another one of the roundabouts, the rock pool just down, the saltwater pools, and of course more of the boardwalks of Kissing Point and Jazeen Barracks, looking over to Magnetic Island, which is just stunning.
So the ladies have just done a left-hand turn off the Strand. Okay, we're in the back streets now. They'll do a right-hand turn here, and then they'll make their way up to the U-turn point. Now, we were sitting up there just before watching the junior races going on, and this section here, there was no wind whatsoever. So this is really, really hot.
The other thing that you talked about too, and it's always hard to see on the cameras, the camber of the road changes quite a lot, particularly in the back section of this cycle leg.
And if you watch this one, we'll come up around this roundabout very shortly. It's a slight little uphill to it. And then as they go around, the camber drops off just that little bit, and it is quite bumpy in certain sections. And then we can see the Chaser girls in behind. Looks like the Belgium girl there. That'll be Jean Dupont. And
that's actually probably Barker, is it?
Barker, sorry. Yes, it is.
She's
sorry.
dropped way back.
Yep.
Okay, so here's this corner we're talking about. The full roundabout. Bit of change of camber on the road. You don't get that right, you're going to end up into the barrier. That is a big gap that they've opened up now.
That is correct, yeah. And you could just see the girls' bikes just leaning over. Marion, they're trying to get Rochelle to work. Marion's got some really good bike skills there. You can see taking the opportunity to get some water in. Rochelle's done the same thing. This is that little downhill section, trying to go in, go through. And this is the hard thing when you've only got two riders there as well. If one's not doing the same amount of work as what the other one is, you might see Marion might be able to go, okay, well, I'm stronger than what Rochelle is at the moment. We might wait another 1 or 2 laps, and we might see her have a go on lap 3 or 4 to try and get away so she has that break into transition.
And once again, you see just sort of a lead they've now built up against so many of the other athletes in this back part of what we call North Ward. This is one of the fantastic locations. There are some beautiful homes in amongst this area, and why wouldn't you live down here? A few moments walk down to the beautiful Strand. All right, so we've seen another group of riders go through. Back to our lead bunch, Rochelle Hill and Marion Legrand. Certainly on time right now, and that gap certainly opening up.
Yeah, still got Phoebe there at 3 seconds behind, so it'll be interesting to see, well, from our next shot to see where she actually is. But yeah, 33 seconds there, back to that second chase pack. We're going to come up here. This is going to finish off lap number 1 there, Minty. So 3 laps to go.
Really tough work out there today. So we talked about those conditions. Humidity up around 69%. It's 25, 26 degrees. The wind has dropped down a little bit. So the girls go around for that turning point. And again, Marion Legrand tries to put her foot down.
Yeah, she's the dominant one on the bike, that's for sure. So she knows she doesn't want to get rid of Rochelle. She wants to probably keep her there. Just readjusting her shoes, just making sure she's sat on. Rochelle's just getting that fluids in. And there we go. That's our 3rd place. That's Phoebe Barker there, making her way around. So that is a bit more than 3 seconds, probably more.
14, showing 14-second now gap from 1st and 2nd back to 3rd. So and then it's Anderson, DuPont, and Uwader. Still under a minute, but 50 seconds is a lot of ground to make up in a short sprint duathlon.
Oh, it is, and what we call Phoebe's in what we call dead man's area. No, there's nothing there, so it's a hard one to actually go, because you're not going to bridge to the front 2, and then you've got the other girls that are further behind. So does she sit up and wait for them, or does she just roll her time through and just keep the legs ticking over and see if anyone does come from behind?
Well, I suppose her thing right now is if she drops back, then she's got to battle for a podium position. Right now, she's sitting in a podium position. Bide your time, get through these next couple of legs. Can you make up? Have these guys done a little bit too much out in front, with Marion Legrand and Rochelle Hill sitting in gold and silver positions right now. So we come back down past one of our great surf clubs on the left-hand side, Picnic Bay.
Yeah. Surf club? No, long here? No, I know we do have surf clubs up here in the North Queensland, and they do have the Australian North Queensland Surf Championships, which is a pretty prestigious title to take out and go through. The Aussie girl Charlotte McShane just making her turn around from lap number 1.
So 3 laps to go for Charlotte as she heads back out on course. Yeah, the lifeguards are pretty busy up here. We do have in summer a real stinger season. So the irukandjis up here, which are very deadly. We have to swim out in the nets at that time, and our lifeguards do an amazing job along here and over at Maggie Island as well, where there is a little bit of rough conditions, but certainly not surf like you would see in many other parts of Australia.
No, and the life-saving fraternity too, a lot of them are volunteers as well, and they give up their times on the weekend to make sure that all our swimmers are safe in between the red and yellow flags.
Great opportunity to acknowledge the great support that's been given. The Queensland Government, through Tourism and Events Queensland, do an amazing job of bringing great events to Townsville and North Queensland, as we see Marion Legrand go over that part of the roundabout. Also, Townsville City Council and Townsville Enterprise, who do an amazing job of promoting our city to the world. We are the events capital of Northern Australia. Some incredible events here, and this one of the greatest ever, with a big amount of finance coming into our city over the next 11 days.
And as we just saw with Marion just going over that speed bump, just that 1 second of just not focusing on the area that you're going through, nearly caused it to come undone. So, it's just that's racing. When you're on that limit, that's what can happen, and things can change very, very quickly out there.
Well, especially at the speeds that they're riding at. They're riding at quite high speeds. If you haven't sorted out your turning point, if you haven't sorted out your roundabout, if you've already hit that mark, it's a bit late to change it once you've run into that amount of street furniture and those sorts of things that we see a lot when you watch cycle racing around the world. One of those things can bring you undone so quickly.
And you could just see the ladies, as they went up over the speed bumps, they were actually getting out of the saddle and riding the speed bump rather than the back wheel coming out. But the one thing that Marion did then when she did go through that roundabout, she didn't panic. Okay, what's up? She just bunny hopped up over the top and then got herself back into that rhythm of what she's doing out there. And you can just see the girls now starting to really turn the turns over nicely. Probably Marion's probably doing a little bit more work than what Rochelle is, but that's to be expected. Marion's an elite. You know, we're talking Rochelle's an under 23, so she's going to have more strength. She's done a lot more duathlons than what Rochelle has as well.
The Gregory Street roundabout there, once again, a big restaurant area with a couple of great restaurants that sit just out on the headland that will once again look out over the water. Just absolutely stunning. But these guys won't be knowing much about that until a little bit later on tonight. We've got Legrand and Hill, and then it's 27 seconds back to Phoebe Barker now. So she really is out in no man's land before we get back to the pack at 55 seconds behind, with Ueda, Anderson and DuPont trying to track down a potential to get on the podium from Phoebe Barker.
And you just see going back this way, the ladies are going into that headwind. So the wind has changed over the last couple of days and it has stayed out to the north. So back this way now. And you get to see that they're not taking as longer turns out on the front. They're trying to get each other coming in and going through. And this section here through the Strand, it is, you know, like a bit of a dog leg and in and around, and then they'll make their way back on. And this is the thing, see the different, we've got the pavers there, the road surface is a bit different, it's a bit off camber. It's very easy just to lose concentration for that little bit, and if we're going to see anything, it's probably going to be in through these sections.
All right, so 30 minutes in, we're on the bike leg and getting ready to complete lap number 2 of 4 before they wrap up with that final run leg of 2.5 kilometres. It is Marion Legrand, 2021 Duathlon World Championship bronze medalist. She is leading right now as Rochelle Hill takes her run at the front. And again, let's just remember, an under 23 athlete currently leading the overall championship.
Yep, it's great to see. Like, Rochelle was probably one of the dark horses that I thought along the lines that had a good opportunity to mix it up there with the front ones, and we're seeing that. You know, this is probably one of the futures of what Australian triathlon is going to be about, even at a duathlon level. She's doing an amazing job out there, but under 23, we're starting to see a few of them starting to come through, and she's the next one of the generations that's going to come through, and we're going to see Hill name, you know, come over the broadcast in a lot of that, and probably future Olympics and Commonwealth Games for the Australian athletes.
As we mentioned, pretty flat along the Strand. All of a sudden, that little bit of a rise there as they come up towards this little chute that sits out in the back, out in the residential area, just can be enough to just throw you off, which is absolutely amazing. So your top 2, quite comfortable from Phoebe Barker, who has really dropped back now, and all from that really bad transition. She'll be kicking herself.
Oh, it's a missed opportunity, that is for sure. And the thing is that the third pack have kept about the same distance as what these to our front pack is, but the thing is Phoebe's losing it. So up around that top roundabout that we're talking about, this is a good point. They'll be able to go down and see where the opposition is, so they'll get an idea of, okay, so we've opened the gap up a lot more, and we can see, I'd say there'd be Phoebe there in third spot. You know, so the girls start looking at each other and seeing, you can see the chase pack just turn around that corner. They'll get Phoebe probably by the end of this lap, I'd say.
Will a little bit of that be the mental fatigue from what she did in transition? Because she was travelling super good on the run.
It's just hard riding by yourself, especially out there. You've got 2 out the front, you've got 3 behind you, so you're going by yourself. So, you know, you've got to make a call at some stage. So if she sees that, you know, this is a perfect opportunity to say, oh, they're coming for me. So what you'll probably find is that she'll sit up a little bit. She'll probably get some hydration in. It's probably a really good time just to reset and go, okay, look, where am I? Where are the girls coming from? Do I stay out the front by myself? Do I keep pushing, or do I sit back up and wait for the girls and go through that way? That's all the things that they go through.
So you can see the breeze down along the Strand has certainly picked up a little bit from the flags that are blowing quite wildly there as they head back down towards that transition area for the turnaround to complete the second lap on the bike. Remember, it is a 20K course over the 4 laps with the 2.5K run to wrap us up. And this will see world champions crowned in Townsville today.
Yeah, so they're about 45 seconds down for the third place. That's Phoebe Barker. So she's still got a little bit of a gap. She's got 15 seconds back to Anderson, DuPont and Ueda. And same thing, those 3 are working together really well to take that time out of Phoebe.
So 2 laps to go for our lead bunch right now. Back into this run along the Strand, our beautiful esplanade. It really is a showcase when we show this city off to the world. So many events happen down here. Strand Ephemera, where we bring out all the artworks every couple of years. Incredible works along this waterfront. And there are dotted little cafes at the headlands as well. So it's one of those great tourist attractions where you can come down. And a lot of people are on the scooters these days. It's one of the great modes of transport. But these guys are scooting out on the bike.
Yeah, that's Charlotte McShane there, just about to make her turn on those back streets. She's out there solo. And there's our third place female just about to make her turn around for, that's 2 laps down, 2 laps to go.
Yeah, she's got that look on her face of not being overly happy out there at the moment. 34 minutes in as we make our way back to the lead too.
And you can just see the speed difference with, with our leading ladies against the second and third packs, So there we are, the third packs just made that turn, but they're coming through. But, they're really starting to open up. They're working really, really well together, these two. They've got the tailwind behind, and you saw as soon as they made that turn, both of them straight into the water. They're hydrating. They know it's hot out there. They're making sure they're doing everything right that's going to help them at the back end of this run.
So how much are they going to communicate between each other, talking to each other about, well, we're out here in front. What's the sort of chat? Is there going to be chat between the two of them, or just that look?
I think it'll just be a look. Whether or not Marion speaks English or not, she's French, so whether or not you don't know, that's a thing. Rochelle, I don't know if she would know French or know a lot of French, so you can see the hand gestures, and you can see it right now. Marion's looking back going, come on, let's go, go make a turn, that kind of stuff. Is Rochelle hurting that much that she can't take a turn, or is she just being coy through this section? You just don't know. They're the game plays that are going to start happening, and I don't think Marion's one of the girls that you'd want to play around with because of her, winning the European Championships and experience. Yeah, that plays a big thing. So is she going to sit there and make her do a bit of work and then hit her? This is going to be the interesting thing to see how this is going to pan out over the next 2 laps.
They've certainly established themselves as gold and silver medal positions in our World Championship right now. There's Charlotte McShane going through the turnaround. Yeah,
sorry, Minty. Yeah, 2 times Commonwealth Games representative, a former under-23 world champion. The 2 front girls up over the speed bump again. Both of them know that's probably a pivotal speed bump, and they're both out of the saddles. And then they're coming down to the bottom part of the strand.
So wherever you are in the world, we hope you're enjoying these beautiful pictures coming in from Townsville, North Queensland. I know in some parts it'll be a whole lot chillier than what you've got here in Townsville today. 26, 27 degrees Celsius at the moment is pretty decent temperatures. This is our winter, and it stays like this almost all of winter. A lot colder down south in the southern parts of Australia through winter, but up here, this is what we get day in, day out. That's why we live here. Look at that beautiful view. Castle Hill sitting proudly up the back, as I mentioned earlier, just a couple of metres off being a mountain.
So from here, I think I was talking to Pete Murray. He ran it this morning. He said it's a 9-kilometre trip to the top and then back down again. So I saw some great photos that he put up there today, and that's probably one of the highlights when you come to Townsville, isn't it? You've got to do Castle Rock.
Yeah, exactly. 286 metres of elevation. So it really does get there. It is the place where so many locals go to do their exercise. You've got to do that. There's also the goat track, which isn't quite as easy to run as the road that goes up through Castle Hill, but a lot of people love it. Not one of my favourite places to run, I'll give you the tip.
You like to drive up there, don't you, Mitty?
Absolutely. 4 wheels suits me just fine.
It is spectacular. Nice blue sky out there. We couldn't have asked for better conditions for our athletes. And there we go. We've got Rochelle back on the front. Looks like they've just done that strand loop. I think they're back up the eateries. So now this place up here last night was packed after the welcome ceremony. All the athletes are out here. There's a pizza restaurant just up on the top here, and that was packed to the rafters. All the eateries around here are loving it. And see all the spectators there sitting out the front there watching the athletes. And why not sit there with a nice little beverage watching the athletes go past?
The Beach Hotel and the Watermark, a couple of places that have just got the most beautiful views on a normal day, but today they get to watch World Championship action. This is the Duathlon Sprint, which is fantastic. Now we see 59 seconds now back to Phoebe Barker. They have almost caught her, the chasing pack. There's only about 10 seconds difference there now.
Yeah, she still held strong. That's a surprising thing that I would have looked at her as an athlete, thinking, well, if they're just there, do I sit up and wait? But she's still holding strong there to try and stay away from them. Probably by the end of this lap, I would assume that she's going to be there with them.
Yep.
So you've got to make that call at some stage, or the girls behind are just going to catch her. It's one or the other. But the two out the front there, Rochelle and Marion, doing a great job. They're working together. They're extending that lead. They're holding through. They're taking good turns. When we sit there looking at them sitting on a bike, they're really comfortable. There's not a lot of wasted energy. You know, we're starting to get the arm coming out. She's getting a bit frustrated, you know, trying to get her to do some work, getting Rochelle to come through. It's, you know, one of those things where Rochelle's sitting, you know, here's the game.
Mind games.
This is the games.
Yeah.
This is what we're going to start seeing over the next lap. You know, with 1 lap to go. So, you know, she's not going to sit there and not let Rochelle come through. She's going to, you can see she's starting to open it up a little bit. It's this is racing at that top world-class level.
100%, and it's one of those situations where it's a mind game for both of the athletes at the moment. Does Marion put the foot down and try to break it, which he's sort of stepped away a little bit, couple of bike lengths now. Rochelle has to really get out of the saddle, put the foot down a little bit just to get back on the back of Marion, who says, well, you know, if you're not going to contribute, I'm going to leave you behind.
And the thing is, well, one thing we are seeing is that Marion has got superior bike handling skills in and around the corner, so she is able to open them up a little bit more. So I wouldn't be surprised if she tries to launch something off one of those corners or one of the U-turns and put it down and go that way, because I know she's not going to sit out the front and let Rochelle get a free ride, that's for sure.
Well, these two riders are closing in pretty quickly on some of the back markers right now. We saw the athlete not too far away. They're getting close to putting a lap on.
And once they get lapped, they get taken off the course too. So because once they're in, they're out of that line. So we're just looking down that stretch. We can see that's where our last rider is. She might be lucky, but you can just see Marion's just opened it up again. She's pushing it out, like making the legs hurt for Rochelle, and not making it easy for her. That's for sure. So this part here, those ups and goes, that's what saps the legs for this last run. And, you know, that's what Marion's going to do, that experience of an understanding, and we can see the chase pack that's going to be coming the other way. So they're going to look at each other, they're going to see, they've known that they've expended that, and got Phoebe's now joined those three girls. Yep.
So that becomes a bit of an advantage for that group, because now with 4 riders, gives them a chance to work together. They're going to play their own little games, because only one of that group, potentially, is going to be able to secure a podium position.
Exactly, and that's where the games all start playing out and going through. And you can just see Marion's now just starting to open that little bit of a gap. Now, this is where if she knows it off the back, bang, you want to go and get that. You can see Rochelle, she knows she's got to go to get back on there. But also, I don't think she wants to go solo for a whole lap herself.
Exactly. So that's that little bit of energy now. So Legrand is really throwing out the challenge to Rochelle Hill to say, well, you know, you've got to keep up with me. There's our trailing pack.
Yeah, that's Aida. That's our 3-time Olympian there on the front from Japan. We've got Phoebe there in second. I think that was Jeannie Dupont from Belgium, and also our young Aussie Aspen Anderson. And there we go. We can just see this will be interesting to see if she's going to put the foot down and try and break her a little bit on these corners, or if she's just going to sit there and make sure that she stays there so she's got somebody to work with. But Marion's led for this whole period of time.
They are certainly gaining on that back marker, who is only a couple of 100 metres ahead now. So there's a very good chance she's going to exit the race very early, given the pace of these two pace setters at the front. It's Legrand and Hill, and then it's a minute 15 gap back to the chasing bunch. Ueda, Barker, Dupont, and Anderson.
Minute 15.
Yeah, you can just see Marion there just getting a little bit of frustration. She's just made sure that Rochelle's come through. You're probably going to see her sit on the back there for a little bit. They know they've got a pretty good gap.
Yep.
So they've got some time to play around with out here on the bike. But also, I don't think she wants to probably keep it that easy as well. She probably wants to keep that pressure on Rochelle. So she'll probably keep that pressure going in and going through, because if she gives her a chance to recover a little bit, you know, she may be able to get her on the run.
And haunt her on the run, which is getting a whole lot closer. So on the final leg of the bike, we see the chase group now coming back along the strand. This is going to be an interesting battle to watch. As I said, 4 doesn't go into a podium finish. Only one of these 4 athletes can finish on the podium. So right now, they just got to work together to try and close the gap a little, but it will come down to a pretty amazing finish off that final run leg.
The interesting thing with that too, Minty, is that you got one going for the elite title, but then we've also got 2 under-23s in here. Rochelle's also an under-23. So we've got an under-23 podium that we're looking at, and also an elite one. So the first 2 out the front, they'll cover the first and second, but that third one, we could still have another under-23 get in that podium. So it's going to be very interesting to watch, especially from that group, the dynamics of what's going to happen.
So Marion Legrand has gone back out into the lead again, trying to stretch Rochelle Hill. She really forced her to get up and jump into that front position, but she's come back to the front one more time. We go down past the Seaview Hotel on the right. This is another big group of riders out in the back area of our ride course, all bunched together. Six riders all together there.
Yeah, a couple of the Japanese. You can tell the Japanese colours with the black and the blue. One of our Germans there, Kelsey Mitchell, the Aussie girl.
Julia Klein in that group as well. So there's a tight bunch as well to sort this one out. Gee, it's very close now to catching that back marker. I don't think she's going to make it off the bike somehow.
No, they'll pull her off on this section. Normally there'd be a motorbike with them, but I know this bottom section down here is actually quite narrow in and through, so the motorbikes will be holding off down to the U-turn. They'll probably pick her up on the outside, but once they go past, then that'll be, she'll be lapped out of our World Championship here.
And again, just that little bit of a hurdle for these two to get past. That slower rider, is this the opportunity for someone to make a little bit of a break, given there is that almost lap rider in there? And Legrand starts to put the foot down.
Yeah, that experience. Like I said, she's sitting there. She's a couple look back. If she keeps that pressure on, no, she just laid it back off again to allow her to get back on, so she's got someone to work with and roll through that way. Maybe she's not feeling that great that she wants to go solo, so just saving herself just that little bit just to try and get someone there to work with, so she gets that little bit of a gap, a little bit of a break, sorry, and go that way.
Looks like it was number 50 from Singapore, Manuel Nyong, who is the athlete that has been lapped by this lead bunch of Legrand and Hill. Coming up to 45 minutes in the final stages of the ride before we hit that final run leg of 2.5 kilometres.
Yeah, like I said, yeah, Marion there's just getting her to come through, doesn't want to come through. Rochelle's just sitting there. At some stage, something's going to give on both parts, and this is the frustrating part when, you know, you're probably the stronger rider of the two out there. Or is Rochelle playing games there? She's saving herself for the run, knowing what's coming, and she's probably going to back herself for the run. It's smart from the Aussie girl sitting there making, you know, the French lady out the front do the work. And I said, she's getting frustrated because she's not coming through and taking a turn. So then she's using energy to try and go, oh, what? Come on.
She's spent a lot of time on the bike leg looking over her shoulder and trying to get Rochelle Hill to go. So Rochelle puts the foot down. She goes down through the next roundabout stage, heading back down towards the Strand Park D before we get that little backstreet area and a wrap up with the bike leg. So Rochelle, putting the foot down a little bit. I'm still here. I've got some energy left.
Yep, and like I said, she's been sitting there for that little bit. We're kind of come through a couple of corners here, through the Strand section that we said there's quite narrow in and through here, but Marion's just got that, you know, she knows the lines of the corners to take. She's just got that better bike skill handling, which makes it hard for Rochelle because she's always chasing, she's always following. So I wouldn't be surprised to see that if when we do that left-hand turn onto the back streets, and then turning right, I think you'll find Marion will go to the front and probably put the foot down and probably put a little bit of a gap in there, but we'll see how this pans out. They've opened up a minute 30 now over Anderson, Dupont, Aida, and also Ibaka. So that they have kept extending even though they've been fighting at the front as well.
Amazing, which is pretty impressive. So pretty fair to say, unless there's some sort of real problem going on for one of these two ladies, these will be your top two finishers. And it's Rochelle Hill from Australia, the under-23 athlete, who really has in her sights the opportunity to win the double of the elite and under-23. Again, Marion Legrand goes back around as they get to that swing back up, that little rise to the back streets here off the Strand in Townsville.
And this is the section I said I wouldn't be surprised if she has to lay it down a little bit more. She's just looked behind, she's opened up a little bit more of gap, watch the right-hand turn, she's going to open up a few more bike lengths.
Gee, that's happened quick.
And then now she's got to get out of the saddle and go. They're both out of the saddle, they're both driving. But that gap's just starting to open a little bit, but I think Rochelle will probably, no, I don't know. That's opened up probably the biggest gap we've seen so far in the race.
Has she got the legs in her? Is she going to be comfortable with that gap? Still quite competent to be able to do that, and it's who's got the most energy left for that run that will determine our elite winner. At this stage, we have the Aussie, Rochelle Hill, leading currently in the winning position in the under-23 women and in second place, elite overall. So what has Rochelle Hill got left as we come back to this final little turnaround? And
you're going to find here, Marion's probably going to open up a few more gaps on this corner going in and around. You can just see Rochelle just a little bit more hesitant going around. You get to see that gap starting open, and this could be the winning move right now that we're seeing for our World Championship.
Marion Legrand says it's go time. Gets out of the saddle. Rochelle, has she got enough to be able to catch up to her French compatriot sitting out in the lead at the moment in this duathlon World Championship with our men's event coming off the back of this?
You see she's now down in that aero position, getting down as low as can. She's hurting. You can see that mouth's opening up. She's trying to get that oxygen in, getting ready to go through. It's hard because we're not going to see what's behind at the moment, but it looks like she's still holding really good pressure. We'll have a left-hand turn up here. There'll be another left-hand turn, and then they'll follow their way back in, and then we'll see them get off the bike.
For people that have done these sorts of events, they know this is a bit of a challenge now. That final little hump back down to the strand to transition where you jump off the bike and go back to the different muscles of the run leg.
That's it, and this is the thing now. We're going to go back from being a rider to a runner, and I think with the motorbike just behind her, I'd say she's probably opened up a fair gap. You can see the shoes starting to come off. So what we have is got Velcro straps on there, so she'll start turning that. You'll see her take off another foot or come out very shortly. Having a look at the back, so yeah, she's opened up a pretty good gap over Rochelle here, and that's just that experience of knowing when to go, what to do, and that.
So here we come back into transition, leading the way. It's Marion Legrand, the 2021 Duathlon World Championship bronze medalist from France, getting into that transition. Once again, you talked about the second transition, so important to get this right.
That's it. So they've got to run up around the top. They've got to come back down. They're going to rack their bikes. And then when they get their shoes, they've got to go back out the same way they went on the bike. And then they'll do a U-turn around the back of the racks. And then they'll head out onto our 1 lap, 2.5 kilometre run to finish off with. Front wheel in. Helmet will go on the box, like we said. And one shoe.
Oh.
Bit of a sticky point there, and second shoe, she's out. Nice transition there for Marion. And Rochelle's just in transition. You can see shoes are on, the helmet's already in. But what we're going to look for is leg turnover. She looks pretty comfortable there getting off the bike. Rochelle just looks like a little bit heavier in the legs, but no, there we go. You can see the legs pick back up again, and off she goes. But yeah, Marion, like that, nice and smooth, up through the shoulders, not a lot of wasted energy. They'll go around the roundabout. And then we're on that 1 lap, so she's opened up a 2-second lead, but I'd say that's probably more like about 5 or 8 seconds.
To 5, absolutely. Yep. As Rochelle now goes around that roundabout turn to head up towards the run leg. So the big gap right now, out to 1:41 to the chasing bunch. Those 4 athletes all very close together. So again, that's going to be a real battle to see who can get on the podiums. As you said, elites and under 23s in there. Can somebody change the overall complex of this game? We'll find out as this final 2.5K run leg goes. Marion Legrand from France leading the way, 51 minutes in.
And look, just the lean position there. We're going uphill. It looks like she's just smooth, nice and easy. Legs are landing in underneath. Good toe off the back of the stride. You know, she looks comfortable out there on the run, and she's a European champion. You wouldn't expect anything more. And our second pack coming in, the 3-time Olympian to the front. She knows where to be, the experience. The young gun, Aspen Anderson there. She's a junior athlete racing in the under 23s. This will be interesting. This is going to be on like no tomorrow between these girls. Phoebe Barker, who led the first run and lost it there in that transition coming onto the bike. The front wheel in there. Ueda's in there, got one shoe on, still got the helmet on. She's trying to get a bike around, it's falling on her at the same time. These are little things there that you can lose timing, and to see Aspen's out there now, she's in front.
Wow. She really did make up some time and put a couple of metres in front of Ueda, who did have that issue. And Barker slips to the back of that 4-female pack. We go back out in front. A really handy lead opened up now from Marion Legrand from France in this World Championship event. She has really got this to lose.
Well, that's it. That's right, Minty. So has she done enough water? Has she done enough everything? But you can see out the back, she looks looks really comfortable there rolling through. I think they're still on the climb up, and they'll start coming down very shortly. So that'll be a welcome if she can actually just get that leg turnover around. There's a chance here to get the heart rate down, just to get him back into control. You can see her flicking her arms around, just trying to relax that little bit more. And, you know, like she's in control out there in front.
She just knows that she's got that little bit of a gap now and just looks pretty comfortable, you'd have to say, out in front leading this one. Rochelle has dropped off the pace, but she will be leading the under-23 World Championship. So a stellar performance regardless.
Oh, exactly. And this point here, when Marion makes her turn down here, this will be the first time she gets to have a look at what Rochelle looks like. She'll get a bit of a gauge and that kind of stuff. And it's out to 10 seconds. Aspen Anderson there in third, minute 50 with Ueda, Barker and Dupont from Belgium.
So that turnaround, as you said, she now gets to stare her competitor in the eyes and go, I've broken you a little bit now. Can you catch me?
You can see just a little sly turn of the face there, just to say, yep, I see you. But you know, she's just on that little bit of a false uphill here. It's quite hard in through this section. You look at a road and it looks like it's dead flat, but yeah, you know, you can see. Good thing with Rochelle is that she can see where she is, but it's also knowing that there's a gap and it's opening. There's also a mind game as well going on at the same time.
Do you start to count the seconds? You work out that landmark and you start to count them out yourself. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 before you hit that next marker. Do you do that in that sort of situation, or just running the race?
I think everybody's different in the individualisation with what they do. But yeah, you'd get a bit of an idea and that, but you can just see the gap opening up. So she knows that she's probably extending, going in and going through. But you know, an under 23 racing up the top there with one of it, you know, an elite athlete that's you know, a European duathlon champion. You know, she's doing a good job against you know, a caliber athlete, that's for sure. Well,
I think that's one of those things. You get a little bit of extra hydration coming around the corner there. Bit of water over the body. Try and keep yourself nice and cool. Just some regular athletes having a bit of a run on the opposite direction, going, wow. Look at this one go. Yep. It's Marion Legrand from France. Looks like she is going to have an unassailable lead out there at the moment, coming up to the 55-minute mark. A little run along the road with Magnetic Island just beautifully across there.
I think that was actually the Spanish colours. Look like the red and yellow. That's the elite men's out there doing their warm-up while the ladies are running around. So not far off from our elite males are getting underway. But, you know, like she's starting to realize there's another look there. You can get another gauge of seeing where they're at. The last real part of this is going up that kissing point boardwalk.
Yep.
That's the last hard part. After that, you know, it's all downhill. So, you know, Marion will be sitting there going, okay, I've got a bit of a gap. Do I need to push? No, I don't. I just need to control. Look like she's in pretty good control mode here at the moment. She's not wasting any energy and that kind of stuff. And she knows there's one little hill to climb to go, and it's all downhill to the finish.
Beautiful. And then uphill with the celebrations. Of course, the medal presentations will follow the men's event a little bit later on this afternoon. If you stay in touch with the broadcast, you'll see those medal presentations at the end. There's Rochelle coming into the area that takes you onto the boardwalk now at Kissing Point.
You just see she's a bit tighter through the shoulders and that kind of stuff, not as fluent as what Marion is out in front. And Jeannie Dupont, who has moved into third place, she's opened up a bit of a gap over Phoebe Barker. Phoebe's actually holding in there quite strong, and Edie Ueda another 3 seconds behind. So it's going to be a good battle between the third, fourth, and fifth girls. Yeah,
that's going to come down to a bit of a sprint finish, you'd have to think. We get these fantastic shots coming along the boardwalk now at Kissing Point as she gets a whole lot closer to a world championship in Townsville, Australia. Marion Legrand from France at the 56.5-minute mark. Final little uphill run through the boardwalk now. How did you go when you ran that yesterday?
Oh, it's fun. Like where Marion's just gone through, it's flatter, and then it goes to hill, so flat and goes. So it kicks every bit going through there. So it's not a rhythm area, so it's hard to get into that rhythm of going in and through. But when you looked out there and saw the blue water, it took all the pain away. It's actually quite nice out there.
Quick check of the watch, just to see how she's travelling. Rochelle in the background as we come back down now. They'll head down through Jazeen Barracks, home of the Brigadier. He still lives on the property, as I mentioned a little bit earlier.
And at this point, they've got 500 metres to go, so you know there's 500 to go. It's all downhill. You know, barring any kind of incident, you know, that she's going to go through. But Rochelle there just making her way up that Kissing Point boardwalk. She's still looking pretty strong. Under 23 athlete, this is probably one of her first ever duathlons at this level too. So she's going to take a lot of experience out of it as well. So, and it's going to help her. Is that a grimace or a happy smile? That's Marion knows she's on that downhill section. This is the last part, and she's been in control. She controlled the thumbs up. Yep.
Yeah, she knows that it's getting very close to saluting at the finish line. 57:45. We're just about to hit. Only a couple of 100 metres left before she'll swing down onto the blue carpet. Photo ready. Little swish of the hair to make sure ready for that final photo. She'll come down across the finish line very shortly. This is going to be a super proud moment for her, a world champion duathlete.
Yeah, she's there must be some of the support staff or coaches from the French team. In control. Round the roundabout, and we will welcome home our world champion very shortly.
There it is, a wave to the crowd. And about to hit the blue carpet. Toby Cook, call her home.
She's done a great job out there today, but down on that blue carpet, we're going to crown our world champion here at our multisport champions for the duathlon. Welcome home, Marion Legrand. High-fiving her way through. She's going, how good's this? Come for a holiday in Townsville.
Goes across the line and a little turn and salute before grabbing the banner, and she's pretty pumped with that. A 58.40. She really did take it to Rochelle in that final lap of the bike and just kept looking at her, saying, you come and get me. And that little bit of a rise, as you predicted, where she put the foot down. And here comes our second place, but winner of the under-23s, Australian Rochelle Hill. She'll be super excited about that. Just a tad over 59 minutes, Toby.
Yeah, and watch for this. This is one of the futures of our sport. Well done there, Rochelle Hill. On home soil to take out second place in the elites and under-23 world champion.
Yeah, smiles all around at the finish line. Our first and second competitors have crossed the line. Now we wait to see what the chase pack has as they come up across the boardwalk as well. It was out to almost 1:50, and 3 or 4 athletes certainly in contention for podium positions, being elite and under-23s as well. So Marion Legrand gets to get the ice on.
You see in the background there with the green and yellow shirt, that's Rena Hill, that's Rochelle's mum and coach. But ice pack's going right on the back of the necks there to try and cool them down. That's the easiest way to cool the mechanism for the our athletes. Oh, it looks like our third place getter is going to go to the under-23 European champion. That is Jeannie Dupont from Belgium. She's really opened up on the girls. There we go. Phoebe Barker there in fourth.
Congratulations, ladies. That is a superb effort in the weather conditions today. And Phoebe Barker has certainly had a tough day at the office, but she'll come through. She'll end up with a bit of reflection from that transition that did change the entire race, because that would have been interesting to have the 3 out there to see what could have been, but it wasn't. Ueda goes across the line as well from Japan.
Yeah, our 3-time Olympian. You know, she smiles, she loves it. Jeannie will also take out second place in the under-23 title. And the next one through should be the young Aussie girl, Aspen Anderson. A couple of the crowd out there starting to grow, especially with our females there, and then we'll have our males starting very shortly.
Coming down to the finish line now, we'll see Aspen Anderson.
Yeah, high-fiving. Yeah, one of her fellow junior friends was Hannah Pollock, who got third in the World Juniors just before this race. But Aspen Anderson there, a junior herself, stepping up, and also will take out third.
Isn't it?
Yeah. And take third place in the under-23 World Championship. So she's had a great day out there. You can see, there we go, Rochelle and Mum together. They'll be doing a bit of debriefing and that kind of stuff. And
Mum said, here comes the camera. I'm not going to talk about that just yet. Celebrate, enjoy. Under-23 world champion and a runner-up in the elites.
Yes.
It's pretty amazing, really.
It is. And like I said, you can see why she finished second to Ashley Gentle at the Noosa Triathlon this year. And, you know, like, there's probably a very good chance that, you know, Noosa Triathlon is one of the prestigious races here in Australia. And, you know, she's going to be a favourite for that this year as well.
Kunke and Faber up on the boardwalk, making their way towards the finish line. An hour and 2 in right now. Faber from Germany goes around that final little hitch before they make that run down to the blue carpet and the finish line. Once again, as I mentioned, medal presentations for this will follow a little bit later on this afternoon after the men's elite and under-23 men's race. Jeannie Dupont.
Yeah, debriefing there with the Belgium coach or support staff.
I think she's saying, gee, it was hot out there. And as you said, Aspen Anderson, as a junior runner, I mean, the experience that you get participating in a world championship duathlon in your home country, that is going to do her amazing into the future, considering where she finished.
Exactly, you know, and she's another one that's coming through. So, you know, Aspen and Rochelle, that's our future of our females that are coming through. So, you know, you throw Hannah Pollock in there, and also Lucy Francis, who second and third in our World Junior Championships that was on before. Kelsey Mitchell there making her way up the boardwalk. She's in a bit of
world of hurt.
World of hurt, that's for sure. And Lulu Johnson winning the New Zealand, but the World Junior Champs. But here comes Charlotte McShane. We know she's backing up with a few of the races this week as well.
She mentioned in that package a little bit earlier, this isn't her favourite event. She has entered a couple of events, and this is a good little tester just to get yourself right for the rest of the week. She said she was a little nervous but excited coming into this run because she wasn't in her favourite event, but she's certainly done pretty well with a 1:03. All right, let's go down and catch up with our course announcer, Pete Murray, with some of our fantastic finishes. Over to you, Pete.
Well, we're at the back of the finish line with our world champion, Marion Legrand from France. You've podiumed before the World Championships, but what does it mean to be #1 in the world of duathlon?
Yeah, it's really amazing. I don't realize now, but yeah, it was Jeux Olympiques in France, and whole France really good race in France. So I want to do the same today in duathlon. I'm really happy because I think it's an objective in my season to have this win today. So today we can say that the job is done to have this title. All the person who are in my life, and this win is for Garance. It's my wife, and she can't run today. She can't run in her life now because she has an injury, and it's for her because I know she's always with me in my heart. And yeah, I'm so happy. It's for my coach, Garance, and my family. Thank you.
There she is, our defending, our champion, our world champion, Marion Legrand. Congratulations. Thank you for coming to Townsville. It's great to see you. And you go home, one amazing athlete, world champion. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. And congratulations to your girl, because I think it's really good for her to do this race in her country. So congratulations to you.
And talking about our girl, we're going to talk to her real soon. Our second place and our under-23 world champion, Rochelle Hill, coming up soon.
Well, there you had Marion Legrand coming down the blue carpet, the finish chute, just talking with Pete Murray. Very excited, Toby Coote, to be a world champion. And she turned around and gave a little salute to the crowd and said, "Look at it, I've done it here in Townsville."
That's it. How good is that? You'll be crowned a world champion. You can see the smile on her face.
Yeah, she was pretty pumped. Absolutely looking down over our finish chute from the drone high above, looking down over this fantastic section. All right, it looks like we're just about set to go back down to Pete Murray once again with our under-23 world champion. Pete, over to you.
Well, we're down here with a very, very happy Aussie athlete. Second place overall in the elite spurt of the world. Under-23 champion, Rochelle Hill. That smile says so much.
I'm so happy. I didn't expect it coming into this. I wasn't sure what to expect, to be honest, but it was just such an honour racing in with the pros and being out there on the bike with a French athlete of all athletes. I know they're some of the best on the cycle in particular, so it was really great seeing her skills and trying to work on my skills during the race.
Let's talk about your skills in the race. You set it up with the 5K run. You're in the front group. You put yourself in the position where you had to be. On the cycle, it started with 3, went to 2 very quickly, but you hung in there. That little gap opened, but it was enough for her to win, but it was enough for yourself to become the under-23 world champion.
Yeah, exactly. From my coach, my advice was to go out conservatively, and I went out and I was first up the hill and I was like, oh no, that's not good. Have I actually conserved enough energy for the rest of the race? But I got out there on the bike juniors today, and I knew I had it in me to stick with her for at least 3 of the laps, so she got away on that 4th lap, but I was happy to finish off with a really great run.
Just finally, I mean, you talked about your coach, but what makes your performance even more special is that the coach is your mum, also a world champion. Today, both mum and daughter, coach and athlete, are world champion. It's a special moment today.
She's definitely an idol. I always look up to her and I hear about her races and I strive to be just like that. So, yeah.
Second place today in the world, and the world under-23 champion, Rochelle Hill. Congratulations. You deserve everything that's coming your way.
Thank you so much. Cheers.
Wow, what a moment. As Pete mentioned, to have world champions in the family. And she comes down to the finish line pretty pumped. The under-23 World Duathlon Sprint Champion is Australia's Rochelle Hill. So good, Toby.
And to keep it in the family.
Yeah.
You know, that's what the thing. And she wants to be like a mum. And if that's a mum, like we know, Olympian, world champion, Noosa winner, you know, you're going to see some big things from Rochelle.
It was pretty special. And, you know, when you talk about these sorts of moments, they don't happen all the time. And to be able to do that in Australia with your mum as coach, pretty special. She talked about holding in there with the French champion for as long as she possibly could and knew that it was going to be tough. But, you know, she did get a bit of a surprise to find herself out in the lead. I think she's done exceptionally well.
No, she's done an amazing job. And I think we might have Pete Murray there with our third place lady.
All right, we're going to come down to that very, very shortly. Pete Murray is standing by to go and chat to the Belgian, who came third overall. We're just trying to sort a few things out as we look over. All right, we're going to go down to Pete.
Third place overall, second place in the world of under 23. Congratulations, Sean DuPont. You must be a very, very happy athlete today.
Yeah, I have an injury in my quad, and so I am so proud of myself today.
Absolute amazing race. The race was up front, but you got off the bike. There was 4 girls, 4 females, 1 spot on the podium. You got a bronze overall elite and a silver in the under 20. It was your day here in Townsville.
Yeah, I'm very proud of myself because I have a big race today, so yeah, I'm proud of myself.
Absolutely amazing performance. Second in the under 23 World Championships. It adds to your European Championship. It's been a good 2024.
Yeah, it's my first time in the World Championship, so it's a very, very important race for me, and just fun today.
Congratulations. Thanks for coming down to Townsville. Number 2 in the world, under 23. Congratulations.
There you have it, Ginny DuPont, getting herself on the podium with the under-23s. What a fantastic event we've had. And Toby, there it is, the results of our elite women here in Townsville, a World Championship event, and we have a result sheet.
Yeah, Marion Legrand there, our winner in time of 58.36. Rochelle Hill, 29 seconds behind with Jeannie DuPont in 1:36. They're both under 23 ladies. Phoebe Barker there had that incident into the transition, but 1:42. Aida, our Olympian, 3-time Olympian, 1:56, and the young gun Aspen Anderson there rounding out the top 6 there in 2 minutes, 2 minutes 30 behind.
Which was quite incredible. Then a big gap back to the rest of the athletes. So Charlotte did find it tough, but we talked about that. Just getting ready for the rest of her event. So Charlotte McShane coming in 7th place in our elite women. That was something pretty special. And we did see a group of runners go pretty fast out from the start. The 3 Aussies got away to a quick start. And then we ended up with a 3-athlete set that did change when we got to transition. But, you know, fast on that first run leg.
It was, and we saw from the high, not from the commentary with Rochelle saying her mum told her to go out conservatively, and all of a sudden she's out the front leading. So it changes. But that was the moment there that cost Barker probably a World Championship medal. But Legrand and Hill, they worked very well out there together on that 4-lap bike course. I know Marion got a little bit frustrated sometimes with not being able to get Rochelle to come through and take some turns, but in the end, she had that experience behind her that caused, you know, some sections like these, the cornering that she used to her advantage to make up those gaps and break Rochelle.
She really did make Rochelle work, and you know they look over the shoulder all the time. Could have been just enough for Rochelle to think she could possibly hang in there, but this is the section where she started to get that breakaway out of the back area of the course into transition for that final run. She really did accelerate into that transition to give herself that break that won her the World Championship.
Yeah, and a flawless transition straight out, got herself into where she needed to, into that rhythm and off and going. You know, Rochelle, you could just see just by, you know, a little bit tired off the bike there, but then once she got her legs going, she did a great job out there. And you know, like from this point, it was never going to be a doubt. That's for sure.
That little bit of an uphill. So the uphill and downhill certainly does help when you've got your rhythm together. And Marion Legrand certainly had that downhill leg now. Final little turnaround before she made her way back through Jazine. and onto her World Championship. So Marion Legrand, a little bit of water. So important, as you talked about, to keep hydrated, and I think she nailed that throughout the race as well.
Exactly, and just being out there in front, you're in control, and she controlled the race pretty much from, the go. You saw she didn't go out with them at the start and then held it together, and, you can just see she's starting to think, yep, I'm there, it's all downhill from now.
So Legrand will come down, see some of her teammates, a little bit of a tongues out, a little bit of a, yep, I'm not quite there yet, but I think we've got this one taken care of. Yep, there it is. Here I come. Marion Legrand on the blue carpet celebrates. This is one of my favourite parts of this win. Down to the line. Oh my God, I've done it. Turn around, hands together. Look, I'm the world champion. And bang, celebration time. She was pumped. Absolutely pumped. There it is. That's the look of a champion. Marion Legrand from France wins the World Duathlon Sprint Championship here in Townsville 2024.
And moving into our under-23s here, we had Rochelle Hill take out the world title there in a time of 59.05. Jeannie Dupont there finishing second, a minute 36 behind. And Aspen Anderson rounds out that podium in 2 minutes 30 behind. One of the junior athletes stepping up in the under-23, so she's had a great day out there. And we had Mayo Shimazaki, Narumi Kankinki in the 5:12 behind, Anika Faber from Germany, and Kelsey Mitchell rounding out our under-23s.
There is the under-23s and the elites. It has been a fantastic afternoon of racing. Have a look at that beautiful landscape. This is my backyard. This is my home, and super proud to be showing it off to the world today. The women's elite and under-23 women's has been done as we get set for our next event coming up, which will be the men's elite and men's under-23 men. The women's presentations to follow a little bit later on this afternoon. We'll have all of the presentations together back-to-back here at the presentation zone in Townsville. Well, that was pretty impressive stuff.
That's amazing. Like I said, the winning move there was onto that transition where they were able to get rid of Phoebe. Not get rid of her, but she made a mistake and then went that way. And then Marion made that winning move on the corners, which just opened up that gap. And, Rochelle, take out second. You still bloody good effort, considering, an under-23 athlete stepping up and going that way, around out second, and also take out an under-23 world title.
I mentioned a little bit earlier, but how important is that in the development of an athlete to be competing with the best in the world, to come second overall, to win the under-23s? The experience she gains out of today, invaluable.
Exactly, and also you get to do it on a home soil too, which makes it even more fun. So, having family out there as well, seeing her go through and go that way. As we said, just the future of our sport here in Australia, definitely a name to watch out for.
And on the subject of future of the sport, to bring an event here to Townsville in Australia, we've got a lot of young girls who'll be sitting there today who'll see the green and gold of Rochelle and go, I want to be like that. And I think that's the thing that I'm enjoying most about a lot of women's sport around the world now. Getting the exposure, bringing the next generations through. You've got the likes of Aspen Anderson, who's a junior, who's now on the podium. Pretty amazing stuff. A lot of young girls, and there is a lot of young triathletes in the making here in Northern Australia. Be watching that and going, maybe that's going to be us in a few years.
That's it. It's got to start somewhere. You know, every champion starts somewhere, and that's the way we go through. We come off the Olympics. The same thing. Everyone sits there looking at that and going, okay, so. We go, well, Olympics, and especially our females were so good there from an Australian point of view. And then we get to sit back and see a couple of Aussies coming through and winning world titles here. All of a sudden you go, like we were back on the back of the women's, the Matildas when they went through soccer as well. It just that flow-on effect. And we all know that the more they get involved with sport, the more healthy our population becomes and that kind of stuff. So sport becomes very important, not just here in Australia, but worldwide as well.
Yeah, it really is an inspiration. And there will be other young women around the world watching our broadcast today, representing their countries, watching their athletes do their thing as well as we see that flyover of Townsville. The elite men and under-23 men is our next event up. We do have, over the period of the 11 days, 19 World Championships to go. We have cross events coming up during the week, and of course in the long course to wrap us up on the final Sunday, the 25th. Over 3,000 athletes from 39 countries arriving in Townsville. Many will never have been to Australia, let alone Townsville before. I mean, these are memories in the making, aren't they?
Exactly, and like you said, you showcased some of the, we showcased some of the, the popular tourist attractions and that kind of stuff. And a lot of them will stay on and have holidays here and, witness what the Barrier Reef looks like and go out to Magnetic Island and, see what Australia has to offer.
One of the things for me, and I love this about sport, the destinations that you can end up in. Of course, last time around, we were in Ibiza, here in Townsville, and they go to Spain next year. So, some pretty incredible things you get to do as an athlete. Those overhead shots of Townsville, you can see one of the big racking areas down there on the parade ground as well. The shot over Kissing Point. Beautiful weather conditions here in Townsville. What an incredible day it's been. 25 degrees at the moment, humidity at 69%, scattered cloud. Well, there's a couple. There's not too many. We've had massive blue skies over our city for the majority of this week. Pretty incredible. So we're about to take a look at the men's and the elite and the under-23s who are coming up in this particular event. And again, this is going to be an amazing competition. The starting list for the men's. We're going to start off with a couple of the athletes that you've picked out. Emile Blondel-Hermont is wearing the number 1. He also is wearing a 10-second penalty before he even starts.
Yeah, he unfortunately was late to the race brief yesterday, and that's an automatic 10-second penalty. So he'll serve that in the transition as he comes through. But he's 4th place at the European Duathlon Champs. He has a current world ranking at number 1 in the World Duathlon. So definitely watch out for Emile.
Another one of the athletes to watch is Saad Al-Zabi from the United Arab Emirates. He is one to keep an eye on for sure.
Yeah, that's it for sure. So he's got a world ranking of number 2. He's the 2023 Asia Duathlon champion and finished 2nd at the African Duathlon Championships. Sorry, Minty, he's the one that's got the penalty. Not Emile. So please, on the broadcast and people watching out there, Emile is fine. He doesn't have a 10-second penalty. But Sahar does.
Let's go to the Aussies and wearing the number 3, Samuel Milam.
Yeah, he's the 2023 and 2024 African Duathlon champion. He's the 2023 Asian Duathlon champion, where he finished 2nd, and also a world ranking of number 3
so
in the duathlon.
Again, let's have a look at this course map. It's exactly what we've just seen with the women's. Again, if people are just joining us now to have a look at the men's elite and under-23 men's duathlon, talk us through the course. It starts off with the run.
It starts off the run where that start-finish, the SF part is there. That's where they'll head out onto our run course from our finishing line, and then they make their way into Jezazine Barracks, and they'll follow in through, slide uphill all the way up into there, and then on the back side they'll come down a slight little hill coming down to Cook Street, where they'll turn left. They've got a U-turn. Once they make that turn, that's a downhill section. Then they're starting to go back up a false flat. And then they'll make their way down to a U-turn point off a Rose Bay. And then they'll head back up into Jezazine Barracks, where we'll find as the Kissing Point Boardwalk. That's the one. That's the word I'm after, Minty, there. Perfect place to watch from and that kind of stuff. And then they'll make their way back down. So 2 laps for our run, so 5K for our first run, and then they'll make their way into the transition area, and that's what we're talking about. You can see the boardwalk right there. That is the point that we think that especially in our men's, we're going to see a bit of action on this one. This is where a launching pad will be to try and put some pressure on the athletes.
A few extra numbers in this one as well. As you talked about a little bit earlier, that will be interesting to see how they cope with the run and potentially end up with quite a bigger group as we go into the cycle legs. 4 laps, 20 Ks.
Yeah. And we're talking 12 of the athletes that are backing up from the European Championships that are in the top 14, all running sub 15 minutes. To give you an idea, that's what we're looking at out there. That's the caliber of athletes we're going to have.
And once again, if you're with us through the women's race, you will know that there are those little intricacies of that cycle area, those turns, the camber of the road, those areas with that little bit of rise where it is going to need someone to make that bit of a break, knowing that it will be such a congested pack.
And especially where we're probably expecting a lot more. We're not just going to have the 2 or 3s out the front like we saw in the ladies. We're going to see probably a pack of about 10 to 20 maybe rolling around at one stage and going, not rolling around, they're going to have the pressure on and going through that way, but that's going to make this cycle course very strategic because it is narrow to try and get past. And bike skills is going to play a massive part in this.
And it doesn't take much, a little clip of the wheels, and all of a sudden you're off and in the fences. So you've got to be very road aware. Big packs, narrow little stretches, and of course all the roundabouts through those legs as well. So looking down over that part, again, you talked about this yesterday and just in the back end of the ladies race as well. There is that sort of up and down through that boardwalk, so you just can't get those areas right. All right, let's go down to get ready for introductions with our course announcer Pete Murray.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the race technical officials of the 2024 World Triathlon Duathlon Championships, Townsville. Leading the technical team today, our technical delegate Ross Capel from New Zealand, head referee Michael Wise from Australia, and medical delegate Dr. Jonathan King, Australia. Well, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the elite men athletes of the 2024 World Triathlon Duathlon Championships, Townsville. Wearing number 1 from France, he was 4th at the Euro Triathlon Duathlon Championships in Canberra 2024. Give it up for Emile Blondel Amon. Wearing number 2 from the United Arab Emirates, Saad Al-Zabai. Wearing number 3 from Australia, first at the Asia Triathlon Duathlon Championships in 2023, Samuel Mileham. Wearing number 4 from Belgium, the 2021 Duathlon World Championship bronze medalist and 2024 Duathlon European champion, Arnaud Deli. Wearing number 5 from Bahrain, Musa Kadic. Wearing number 7 from France, 2019 Duathlon World Champion, 4-time Duathlon European Champion. This is Benjamin Shoka. Number 8 from Australia, he was 3rd at the Asia Triathlon Duathlon Championship in 2023, Matt Smith. Number 9 from Spain, he was 2nd at the Europe Triathlon Duathlon Championships in Canberra this year, Javier Martin Morales. Number 10 from France, he was a 2022 Duathlon World Champion. Give it up for Krillin Libian. Number 11 from Japan, for Maya Tanaka. Number 12 from Peru, Alberto Oswaldo Champatas. Number 15 from Belgium, Vincent Bedor. Number 16 from France, Thomas Laurent. Number 17 from Belgium, Nicholas Skins. Number 18 from Australia, Edward Langdon. Number 19 from Belgium, the 2019 Duathlon World Championship bronze medalist, Angelo Van der Castile. Number 20 from Spain, Antonio Benito Lopez. 21 from Australia, Luke Bates. 22 from New Zealand, Lachlan Haycock. 23 from Australia, Reese Harris. 24 from Poland, Christoph Hudis. 25 from Great Britain, James Hodgson. 26 from Nick Carling, Australia, Nick Carling. 27 from Great Britain, James Philpotts. And now our under-23 men athletes of the 2024 World Triathlon Duathlon Championships, wearing 31 from Panama, Eric Arnel Acosta. Wearing 32 from Belgium, the under-23 Duathlon World Champion, Steph Cortis. Wearing 33 from Belgium, the 2022 Junior Duathlon World Champion Silver, Martin Oldenhover. Wearing 34 from Japan, Ryosuke Kanada. Wearing 35 from Japan, Shunsuke Okada. 36 from Australia, Jordan Chug. 37 from Australia, Cody Salter. 38 from Australia, Ryan Marsh. 39 from Australia, Murray Colbridge. Number 40 from Australia, Rowan Hickey. And our final athlete, number 41 from Australia, Rowan Kerr. Well, there you have it, folks. That's our male athletes, the elite men and under 23 athletes of the 2024 World Duathlon Championships in Townsville. We are now 1 minute and 30 seconds away from the start of the best duathletes in the world here at the World Triathlon Multisport World Championships in Townsville. 1 minute, 20 seconds. Under 23s up for grabs for world champions. Also our elite males. This is going to be fast.
Well, there you go. Pete Murray down on the start line with the introductions of our technical officials and our athletes. It is a full field, as you talked about, Toby. This is going to be fascinating to see how this pans out with a big pack making their way off the start line.
And this is the nervous energy. You can see them all sitting there. They all want to get this up and going. But, you know, see, there's 3-4 lines of athletes there. And that narrow part to come in underneath the arch there. All it takes is one little bit of a shovel or somebody absolutely trips or something like that. And we saw that in a lot of the athletics at the Olympics as well. So this is, you know, once they get past this section and they can get out and get going, then it's happy days.
40 seconds to go from Townsville, the sunshine capital of the state of Queensland. More than 320 sunny days each year. And it's going to get sunny for these guys very quick. Sitting at 26 degrees currently, humidity quite warm, 69%. And we are counting down. Less than 20 seconds to go to the start of this Duathlon World Championship. Elite and under 23 men in 15 seconds. Heart rate starts to build. 5 seconds to go. World Championship set to run. Staggered start.
Oh, this is a clean start anyway, so they're off and going. So same thing we saw in the ladies. The guys are going to do the same thing. They're all going to turn left here, make their way up that hill. They're going to sit there, they're going to look. Are we going to push the pressure straight away? Looks like the Frenchies are going to put it down pretty quickly. And like I said, a lot of these athletes are backing up. We saw the results from the European Duathlon Championships where they all ran a sub-15 straight away for that first 5 kilometres.
Extraordinary numbers.
Yeah, all 12 of the 14 all running under 15 minutes. And to give you an idea, last year's world champion Marion Moeller was also in amongst there, which they looked at around a 14:47 first 5K split. And you can see it already starting to string the athletes out here.
This is a world-class field. It is a world championship event. The elite and under 23 men are off and running. Choquer and Le Bien from France lead the way up the hill for the very first time. 2 laps of the 2.5K course, 5K run before a 20K bike leg and a 2.5K run to finish us off.
And duathlon is very prestigious in Europe countries, and that's why we see a lot more probably European athletes that come down and do a World Duathlon Championship. And it's always been like that, and you can see the French, the Belgians are very strong, the Spanish. You're going to see a mix and throw. The Aussies there sitting in there. You can see Luke Bate, he's holding in there, one of our under 23 athletes. And there's Hickey off to the side as well, but you know, most of the main guys are going to be at the front here. You can just start seeing that arrowhead running up over the top. They're just about to nearly get to the crest of that hill, and then we'll have that little downhill section. And I reckon you'll probably see a little bit more leg turnover, and you'll watch them spread out pretty quickly through this section.
So already going through their minds, we are 1:50 into what is going to be just under an hour for these elite men, having seen what we did with the women's race today. A little bit of a fall away there as they come across the crest. Again, always important. The footing can so simply go from under you. And already we see Benjamin Choquer, the duathlon world champion, 4-time duathlon European champion, leading the way.
Yeah, and we expect him to be up there. He's one of the noted athletes that are in there. Also throw in Arnaud Deli from Belgium as well. So, you know, they're going to start. You can just see they're just starting to really stretch the pack out. They're all going to have go around that U-turn, and you'll see that little bit more of acceleration. When you're at the front there, you get that little bit of a clean air.
Yeah.
When there's a bit more people in there, it's a bit more argy-bargy getting in and going through. You've got to try and surge to get back up again. and start rolling through. But once again, we're looking at shoulders, leg speed, looking who's looking pretty comfortable out the front. And you could probably say the first, 4 they're looking pretty comfortable. And then you can just see them just starting to stretch out. You can see them, they're starting to lean back just a little bit with their shoulders. This means they're under that little bit of pressure.
Already nice and early. And as we talk about in so many sports, it doesn't matter what it is. When you're out in front, you've got less opportunity of clipping your heels, wheels, tires. It doesn't matter what it is. When you've got a group of athletes, that is when something can happen. 3 minutes in, and it's already Benjamin Choquer out in front from France, leading the way. Nice tight bunch, but he looks pretty solid out in front at the moment. Deli from Belgium and Hickey, the Australian there. Nice and comfortable already, making sure the hydration is on from the get-go.
And that's smart. Like that's just cooling the body down, making sure that you're doing what you need to do, and just getting yourself sorted that way.
Gee, the gap's opened up pretty quick, hasn't it? The lead bunch has already started to stretch away from a group of athletes getting caught out in no man's land, and then another bunch a little further back. 900 metres into our first 5K run.
You got another little U-turn here, then accelerate, speed back out, watch them start stretching out. The ones that are 2 and 3 back there, it's just rolling in and through. Benjamin Choquer there out the front from France. He's just in control. You can just see he's just sitting there. He knows what he's doing. He's doesn't win titles for no reason
Correct.
at all. So
Yep.
he understands what he's capable of doing, and just setting the pace there just to make sure that it's on for him. We've got three Frenchies there in the top 6. They all work together as a team. They'll probably try and get out on the bike together and go that way as well.
So Crillien Lebihan, the 2022 Duathlon World Championship in the mix up there at the top as well, wearing the number 10 for France. So again, he knows his way around a duathlon. Absolutely amazing. Down through the back of Jazine. This is one of those great little spots now as you come around and head towards the run up for the very first time up the boardwalk. And again, a chance to really ascertain where you sit as you make your way up through the boardwalk section.
And you can see they've just started to put the pressure on. You can see this just starting to stretch out. They know this is probably the section where, okay, we can make a bit of a hurt locker in here on them. And you can just see them all just starting to really stretch out. That's the French suits there out in front. So there's one of the French the boys out there in front. Might
be Lebihan, I think, who's now done a little bit of a breakaway from the bunch. Again, that has stretched them out really quickly. 1.4 Ks into a 5K run, 5 minutes 30 down in this elite and under 23 World Duathlon Championship. It is Lebihan out in front, with countryman Leclerc sitting in second position.
Yeah, Deli there from Belgium, and Karic there as well. So he's another one there from Bahrain. He's got a World Duathlon ranking of a number 6 in the world, and second at the African Duathlon Champs in 2024. And he's also the African and Pan-Arab Duathlon champion back in 2016 and 18. So a caliber athlete, that's for sure.
The boardwork has certainly stretched them out a little bit. The downhill run now for the first time. These athletes starting to work themselves out. 2 championships on the line, the elite and the under 23s. It is Lebihan, Crillien Lebihan, the number 10 runner from France, leading the way.
Yeah, he's been at a few of the World Championships over the last couple of years there. Minty, third there in 2022, and in 2021 and 2023, second. So 3 podiums there over the last 3 years at a World Championship. And he's going to look to go one better this year. That's and the way that he's going, he's putting it out there to go, look, guys, I want you to chase me today.
He's certainly laid it down nice and early, hasn't he? Nice and fluid run. Comes down to that turnaround point to get the first lap done.
So 7:05 for 2.5K. Oh, they've
gone the long roundabout. That's the first lap done anyway. 2 laps, 5Ks before they hit a 20K bike leg. And the first 3 have opened up quite a gap already.
And this is, you can just see him just starting to, it looks really get those leg speed turning over. You can just see nice fluent movement coming through from the drone shot over the top there, up through the Jezine barracks.
Sun hitting them right in the face as they come up the hill.
Yeah, it's, they're on for money. Like they said, they went through that first 2.5K in just over 7 minutes. So if you double that up, 14 minutes for 5K, that's the kind of speed that we don't expect in that. But there you go, a bit of sportsmanship there, throwing some water, passing it over to your teammate, and that's the good thing about the French team being out there. You know, they can work together and do things like that. That's for sure.
As you mentioned, Daly sitting in third place. He is Arnaud Daly from Belgium. Duathlon World Championship bronze medalist in 21, European champion 2024. So a good mix of experience there at the front in the top 3 at this stage.
Yeah, former under-23 world champion too. So, you know, he knows how to win a title, and that's what it's all about, that experience of that level of racing. And you can see we had a pretty solid pack there at the first lap, and you can just see him just slowly, one by one, keep dropping off as we go through.
And Hickey, the Australian, keeping in touch at this stage in that pack of about 10 to 12 runners. So he's sitting in there at the moment, just keeping an eye on what's happening in front of him.
Chocha just gone back to the front there again. He's settling the pace down, rolling in and through. So, and this is the thing, is when you've got three French athletes up there in the front, working together as a team, you know, who might be out the front there sacrificing, but what they want is a world title for France.
So they've certainly dominated the front of the run at this stage, 9 minutes in. So we should have only about 5-6 minutes tops for these guys to get to that transition, where once again, as we saw in the women's race, it's so important to get that transition right.
You've got 3 Belgium in that front pack as well. So, you know, the powerhouses that we expect to be up near the front are all there.
And these are quite sharp turns. When you're at pace, again, can be so simple to misstep and end up tripping over and ending up in the fence or in the shrubbery.
And especially with the fast shoes that they're running in these days too, to do U-turns in and around that way, they're not as stable. In straight running, perfect, and that kind of stuff. So understanding what's underneath your feet as well. So yeah, so we've got France there out in front, Chochet with Le Bahan, Daly there from Belgium.
Great work from the camera crew. Picked up on your discussion about the shoes and went straight in. How good are they out there?
And then also Emile Blondet Hermart is also there. He's 4th there at the European Duathlon Championships. As we said, 14 out of the top 14 there. All 12 of them are racing here this weekend.
And it looks like that's our Australian, Ron Hickey, who's sitting just off the back of that pack. So an Australian just sitting off the back of the pack.
Was that Luke Bate, I think it is. Might be Luke
Bates come
Bates.
up.
Yep, so he's one of our under-23 athletes.
So we're 10 minutes in. Once again, down the back section, out on the waterfront. They'll come down to another turnaround before they head their way back up to Jazine Barracks one more time. The 2 Frenchmen leading the way.
Yeah, sorry, Luke Bate, not under 23, he's in the elites. So he's the winner of the Asian Triathlon Cup in Osaka and Subic Bay in 2024. So probably more, Luke's more of a triathlete, but dabbling in the duathlon. You can just see him just stringing off the back around that U-turn. And as we say, we're going to go up the Kissinger Point boardwalk very shortly, and I wouldn't be surprised to see someone try and make a move up there.
So we have 11, a bunch of 11 before we go back to Luke Bate, wearing the number 21 for Australia. 11 runners in that lead pack have opened themselves up. The 2 Frenchmen out in front as we get super close to that boardwalk section. And this, as you said, could be that ideal spot just to make that break before we get down to the change over to the bike at transition 1.
You can just see the expression on the back 4 or 5. You can see another one. I think the Spanish colours just dropping off the back there, and that the pressure is really on. So Chachert, they're still leading 11:23 there at the 4 kilometre mark. So they are moving very quickly out there on the course. Le Bahan, they're from France, and Adeli rounding out the top 3 there. But I wouldn't be surprised to see a bit of a string out along here.
As you mentioned, big contingent of French and Belgian runners out in front in this pack. As you said, expect the powerhouses to be there. Can somebody make a bit of a break before they get into transition? Le Bahan back out in front now. The 2 Frenchmen have rotated the lead pretty much from the beginning of this race 12 minutes ago.
And you can just see on the back where the Spanish colours are, the red and yellow, you can just see that gap starting to form there from that 4th to the 5th place. But the good thing is once they get to the top, they know there's a bit of a downhill. So if you are feeling a little bit down and your leg speed's not going all that good up over the top of the hill, you do got that push down on the downhill that you can catch up to.
And as you mentioned earlier, you'd be happy with a bunch of 4 out in front on the bikes rather than a big bunch of 11 or 12 all bunched together. So this little bit of a breakaway just gives them that little bit of a lead off the bike leg as they go into that downhill section now towards transition.
Yeah, you can just see there's Luke Bate there just making his way up. He's just that back end, the pace there is just starting to take his toll on him. Martin there, the last of the Spanish. He's the Spanish there. He's in 4th. You just see the French colours there just about to tag back onto the back of Martin there from Spain.
This is a pretty fast run.
And
13:32.
Yeah, they're moving along quite nice. You know, we expected that, Minty. That was a thing based on the times that we saw at the European Championships were in June. These guys have had a chance, and you can just see even there 2, 4, 5. It's probably a good little pack. If you're there in that 6, 7, 8 spot, you know transitions coming up is going to be vital to be able to. You're either going to get on the pack or not get on the pack, and that's where this is going to be very important for a lot of them.
See Langdon, the Australian, going through, and Harris not too far away as well. So the Aussies certainly hanging in there, but at this stage we've got a group of about 5 who are going to lead their way into transition, and again, super fast time.
Yeah, just over the 14 minutes, 14:15 at the moment going into transition, and here we go. This is where it's going to. This is the money time. This is where you need to get in, be clean, and get out as quick as you can. Helmet goes on. Yeah, running shoes off. I just saw someone go out with running shoes on their feet, which will be interesting. And he's our front guy.
Struggled.
Unless he's got shoe adapters on there, so that's actually make the transitions a lot quicker. So
well, he did pick up speed there, didn't he?
He did. Well, he didn't have to take his shoes off, so he had that extra bit of time. So, and this is the thing we see in duathlon. We do see some, adapter plates and that kind of stuff that they do. So, his second transition, he doesn't have to worry about putting his shoes on. So that makes life that little bit quicker.
The adjustments of the shoes as they now get into the first leg. So 4 laps of the bike on the bike course along the strand. 20 kilometres in total as Hickey goes through now. Makes his way out onto the bike course, the Australian. But that was a great move because it did pick up some places.
That's it, yeah. He went from about that 4th or 5th spot to leading that pack. And you see just that between the first and the second pack, they want to do a bit of driving through here to try and catch back up. But, it might only look like 5 seconds, but this is enough to miss that front pack.
Another of the Australians coming through in transition. It's like Langdon, is it?
Langdon, yeah.
Langdon.
Yep.
And Harris goes out through transition now. So the first time around the back of Strand Park, a big D at the back of one of the big focal points in our city on the Strand. Then that swing around. Again, we talked about it earlier. The change in the lanes, the different conditions, the speed humps coming up to one now just in front of the watermark. Up and over they go and back into roundabout. So you just can't take your eyes off the road at any time here with what's happening.
No, that's it. And especially now the dynamics of a bigger group going in. So we've got, it looks like 3 French. Yep, and this is
Saoud El-Zabi, who's got the 10-second penalty for not getting to briefing on time. Gee, I mean, he's a little way back right now, but you'd hate to lose a world championship on not getting to the briefing in time, right?
Well, that's it. But, sometimes travel arrangements and that kind of stuff. Yep. But the rule is it doesn't matter. And then our athlete there from Peru as well.
Alberto Oswaldo Chumpitas Cruz has a 10-second penalty for exactly the same reason. And off he goes as well.
So both of those only got Ryan Marsh there, was just running out next to him. But this is the makeup now. We have a look. We've got 3 Frenchmen. We've got 3 from Belgium. There's a Spanish.
Martin from Spain.
Just trying to see what the other colour is up the front there. But, powerhouse countries sitting in there. Okay, you got three Belgium. You got 3 French. Team tactics, what's going on out there. The pace isn't on. We can see they're all sitting up. They're all hydrating. They're getting some fluids in. Are they happy with the pack that we got? Oh yeah, we got another Belgium about to get back on. Does that make 4 Belgium into the front pack?
Yeah,
so,
wow.
Yeah, the dynamics become interesting over this 4-lap bike course.
So Oldenho from Belgium joins on. Your experience in this sort of sport, and as a coach as well, How hard is it to get the body changed over from jumping off the run onto the bike? Because obviously different muscles, and you've just all of a sudden got to go into a whole completely different complexion with your body.
And this is what makes duathlon very unique in the racing thing, because they go from, you know, running at top end speed, legs are full of lactic, to get back on the bike and start riding. It's not as easy as what it is going from a swim to a bike. Same kind of dynamics and that stuff, but it's just a different breed. This one, you can see a lot of them are just sitting there looking at each other, and this is the problem sometimes when we get a big pack like what we have right here, that no one wants to do any work. They're all sitting there looking, and you can see everyone's looking behind, and this is where incidents start happening and that kind of stuff, people taking risks and that kind of stuff that we'll see as we go through. But
yep. So Alden Hove on the back of the pack is one of our under-23 athletes. He was the Junior Duathlon World Championship silver medalist in 2022. At the back of the pack right now, Angelo van der Kasteel, also from Belgium, wearing the number 19. So one of the elites. So you'd think that Alden Hove, from looking at that bunch, just looking through the field to try and see if there's many other under-23s in there.
So you can see Laurent there. He's got the shoe adapters as well.
Yep. So yeah, I would think Martin Oldenhove, probably one of the only under-23s in that lead pack that I can see at this stage. But we'll keep a close eye on that.
It's hard to read their names when they go around the corners there, Minty. That's the thing. We'll try and do our best that we can. I was just trying to see if the other French man, Steph Coutels, had got through. Oh no, he's the Belgium athlete. Sorry.
Yeah, I can't see him in that lead pack.
Yep. No, Delhi's up the front there. I can see that he's up there.
Javier Martin Morales from Spain also in the top couple. So there you go. These guys are now going to start to look at putting up the pace a little bit. They may have sorted themselves out a little bit. As you said, very different racing to what we saw with the two lead ladies out in the last race.
And this is where we come back to that left-hand turn. They'll make their way down in around. These are the technical kind of sections of the bike course. And if anyone does, and we saw that with Marion, that's where she made her winning move through this section here. And you know, I think you're going to see these boys are just going to sit there and look at each other for maybe a lap or two, get their legs right, and then I reckon you might see a few starting to try and wind her up a little bit if they can.
So Martin, the Spanish contender, he's certainly telling everyone this is what we're going to do. He's quite animated out in front at the moment, is Javier.
And it's hard when you're the only one there, and you can see he's about to put the hammer down, and oh no, he's gone to the back, but someone's put the hammer down, and it looks like the French colours there out in front. But they've got a big gap on the second pack, so they've got a saving grace of being able to sit there and be in control of this race. If they were a bit closer to the other pack, and that probably a different story, but you know, we'll see how this pans out, like the dynamics of how many are from each country, and that Martin's there. He's a sole Spanish athlete there by himself. You've got four Belgium, you've got 3 Frenchmen.
They've certainly opened up a very quick gap. Castile from Belgium on the back of the pack there. Angelo van der Kasteel in the number 19. Martin from Spain. You've got all the 4 Belgium riders doing a pretty good job out there at the moment too.
And you can see Le Bahan, you got Delhi, just made a bit of a gap, and another one of the Frenchmen. I didn't see the name on the front there, but you know, if these guys don't react quickly, this race could be done and done right here, what we're watching with these 3 going away through that technical section. See, they're just starting to string them out a little bit through here. Martin, who was on the front doing the work, now is on the back. And
very animated, and he slipped to the back, and already he's had a bit of a gap put in front of him, which is pretty amazing stuff. So we're 21:59, 22 minutes in. Absolutely going to be a massive run. So this is down for the completion of lap number 1 on the bike of 4.
And we just had word too, Minty, that number 3, Samuel Millam from Australia, has DNF'd. He's stopped at the aid station, so obviously something's not right there with him, which is unfortunate for an Australian. And also, you know, he's the African duathlon champion. and also the Asia Duathlon champion as well. So,
well, you just don't know. If someone's come in with a bit of a pre-existing injury, they hope to get through. Maybe the weather's just zapped them a little bit more than they thought, or tweaked something. Get out before you do any major damage.
Oh, that's it. So we've got Blondel Hamad. He's leading through there. I got Arnaud Adeli there in second place. And he's got a number 4 world duathlon ranking. From 2021 to 2023, 3 world championships, finishing a 3rd, a 5th, and a 4th at the under 23 world champ. So he's one to watch. But we're going to throw.
Yeah, we caught up with him after the race briefing yesterday. Let's go and have a listen to what Arnaud had to say.
It's a great sunshine like this. We don't have that much in Belgium, so really looking forward to the race. The jet lag now is over because it was quite a long trip to come here. But no, everything is fine. Cannot wait to race tomorrow. Yeah, for sure, because I mean, all the European athletes and country are quite strong in duathlon, so we know that that's maybe one of the strongest continents. But for sure, we are looking forward to race with the world, because being world champion is something a bit higher step, I would say. So really looking forward to the race. Yeah, as each year, like European Championship and World Championship are really something that I need to put on my calendar. So really looking forward. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I always have been super close to some title. I'm really happy to already have the European Championship title. Now to do the double would be great. Yeah. I mean, also in Belgium last couple of weeks can be also, where it's also a bit hot. But here, I mean, the sun is really burning. You feel it. It's a bit maybe less humid, but a bit of sunscreen and it's good. No, just looking forward to this beautiful scenery, because we're running and cycling along the coast like that. It's just beautiful. It's really some new landscape that we don't have, especially in Belgium. So looking forward to racing such a beautiful scenery.
There you go. Arnaud Adeli from Belgium. His thoughts on participating in the World Championships in Townsville as one of the French competitors. Kicks away just a little bit in that lead bunch. Certainly broken away from the front. That's a handy couple of bike lengths back to the pack.
Yeah, but the problem with that Minty too is he's gone solo. I mean, he's probably a really good, strong cyclist, but when you got a pack of riders behind like that, but see the Belgians are throwing their arms up and around nearly
over the roundabout.
And that's the thing, that all of a sudden just that something goes wrong. This is how quickly a race can change right in and amongst it all. Some of the experienced guys sitting at the back there, they know what they're doing. They know what they're capable of doing. Let him sit out there, let him burn the legs. That's what that looks like they're doing at the moment. They're not overly...
Sat up a bit, haven't they?
Yeah, so, you just don't know. We're just trying to work out. My eyes aren't good enough to read the name on the back there, but...
It might be Choquer, is it? Oh, no, I think he might have been at the back of that pack. There's Choquer back there.
It could be Emile Blondel Hamad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like, because there's
Le Bihan in there and amongst it. So those,
and
Laurent.
Yep, so I'm assuming that'll be Emile Blondel Hamad. He likes the long stuff, and that's the thing, doing a bit of research on him and going through that. Second at the 2023 World Triathlon Powerman long distance duathlon champ. So he's not afraid to go out there by himself, and looks like that's where he's going to go. He's got a world duathlon ranking of number 1 currently at the moment. But the hard thing is when you've got a group of guys in behind, they're probably confident that they're going to get him at some stage. But if they let him stay out there and go through,
he's decided, I'm going to have a crack.
Exactly, and sometimes that's all it takes is to go that way. That opens up a little bit of hesitation from the group in behind, and then bang, he's gone. He opens up, he's got 30, 40 seconds. That could be enough to take out the world title today.
With some of these tight turns, you get nervous when riders start doing that look over the shoulder, look away from these little bits of median strip. You can quite easily trip over on those, and you're going to know you hit that if you're busy looking over your shoulder. So Martin from Spain has just moved back up into the front of this pack.
And the other dynamics we've got here, like you watch Tour de France, you got your teams out there. You got a Frenchman out there by himself. Are any of the Frenchmen going to go and chase that? Not at all. They're going to sit back and they're going to let this unfold.
You've seen them move to the back of that pack pretty quickly. That first turn now. This is that little bit of rise. Again, you've walked this and you said it really is so much quicker and higher than you actually looks from from different camera angles.
Yeah, it's easy to lose 2, 3, 4 kilometres an hour just on that little rise. You'll pick it back up here. This is a little downhill section going down. You can see the shadows starting to come through. So, you know, the guys are getting that, you know, cooler conditions compared to what our juniors and our females got, our elites and under 23s. But you can still see there's just that hesitation in that group behind. They're all just sitting there looking at each other, waiting for somebody to do something. And we're sitting there and just watching the position there of Hamil. He's just going through. The Kiwi guy, Haycock. Well, he's called it a day as well. Not sure, is there a puncher? Or he's just, yep, that's it. So there, Emil making his way around that roundabout. He'll get a bit of a gauge, see where they're at. He's got probably about a 5-second lead.
So that was Lachlan Haycock from New Zealand, competitor number 22, out of the event. And out of the saddle is Emil Blondel-Hermon. On the water.
Yep, hydrating up, smart out there, you know, just he's in control. He's controlling what he can control.
Yep.
And going that way instead of being in the pack where, you know, you're getting, you know, bits and pieces all over the place. He's got, he can control what he's doing there.
So he'll come down and make the left-hand turn to head back down towards the Strand before he gets back to transition to wrap up another leg of this bike ride. 9.1 Ks into the bike ride now, so almost 2 laps done. Blondel-Hermon from Van der Kasteel. Van der Kasteel is another one of those riders from Belgium. Laurent Labian Oldenhove, who we think at this stage is the leading under 23 athlete, the number 33 competitor from Belgium.
And Birenix round out the top 6 there, so interesting. Adeli and Chachert, they're sitting on the back. They're probably the 2 names that we, you know, probably thought, you know, will be there. But like I said, they're just sitting there, just watching what's going on. You know, that experience, you don't have to rush around. That's 1 lap down.
They may have just caught him up a little bit in that lap, I think. But again, out of the saddle, Blondel-Hermon into lap number 3 of 4.
The thing is, he's out front. He's out of danger. Nothing can go wrong from that point of view. But I don't think he's going to be able to get away. So
they've certainly made up ground in that back leg, haven't they?
Yeah, that's it. So yeah. So apparently, number 20,
Lachlan Haycock.
Lachlan Haycock. Yeah, he's been sick all week. So unfortunately,
so he's come out and had a crack, but the body's just said, enough's enough, my friend. Time to put it away.
And if he's got other races too that he's racing over the next couple of days, it's a smart move sometimes if you know the body's not right and you've been fighting that sickness. And that's the hard thing about coming to a world championship or coming to a major event, that those kind of things can happen. And it's always, you know, hard traveling to events and that kind of stuff. So, you know, unfortunately, we're not getting showcased what his talents are and that kind of stuff. But, you know, we hope all the best and he enjoys his time out here in Australia.
100%. All right, so we do have a breakaway rider at the front, Blondel-Hermon. He's out in front at the moment, and then a small pack developing in behind them as well. Lots of hydration going on from this pack. They know they need to get that water in on this 3rd leg of 4 on the bike. So 20 kilometres in total here in Townsville today. Of course, a thriving regional population, 200,000 in Townsville. It's the largest city of Northern Australia and the capital of North Queensland, and boy do we do events well here. We have our North Queensland Cowboys in the National Rugby League. They'll be playing tomorrow night,
Saturday night,
at Queensland Country Bank Stadium, which is not too far from here. We do have the Supercars here in July as well, so a busy time of year when it comes to events. And this year, the World Championships in town, 19 championship races over 11 days, and today is just day number 1.
And we're here doing it. We're showcasing that too, Minty. It's absolutely awesome. And you know, you talk about the Cowboys. They're going to be a massive game there on Saturday night. But we're looking back out here, and you can actually see over the Kissing Point boardwalk, just the water. So it was a lot smoother when the ladies were racing. So the wind's definitely picked up a little bit,
which is traditional at this time of the afternoon.
But it hasn't come from the traditional way, which is the other side that we've normally seen. So U-turn. So one of the Belgians there, he's made his way off that pack, and we'll try and get that name as they come through. But having 2 out there in front changes the dynamics of this race, the urgency from the others.
Yeah, he certainly wants to catch him, doesn't he? He certainly made the decision, I'm going to go out and catch up.
So which is, sorry, Minty, it's interesting because you've got the 2 Belgians chasing another Belgium, and then the Frenchman and then Belgium. So it's funny the logistics out there, or the you know, the cat and mouse of what's going on between the countries and that kind of stuff as well.
Well, it seems the decision was certainly made to go out and get him. They've all bunched back up a little bit, and it won't be long. It looks like they're all going to come back as one big pack, as we expected it might on this 3rd leg. And Blondel Hermont has come back to the pack.
And then you watch, there'll be a sit-up off on now. They'll sit there and it'll roll around, and you can just see it all because it's all starting to open up again with the pack coming in and going through.
So Vander Castile, Martin Morales dropping a little further back. We've got more Belgium and French riders in there as well. Back to Delhi before a bit of a break. Then back to Philpott. So Philpott and Hodgson now sitting at 49 to 50 seconds away. So that's a decent break from this lead group of what looks to be about 10 riders at this stage out in front.
And that's the beauty of what they've got here. So they can sit there and they've got 50 seconds to play around with. So, you know, the urgency's dropped back out of this bike course, or this bike pack that we're seeing there. They're all sitting up, hydrating, getting themselves, you know, setting themselves up for what's going to happen at some stage. Through the Strand area there where we had the opening ceremonies to the right-hand side.
Spectacular. It was unbelievable to see all the colours and the flags coming in. As we mentioned earlier, just over 3,000 athletes here for the World Championship from 39 countries. 11 days. We wrap up on Sunday the 25th, and so much to happen in between. Road racing, the off-road with the cross circuit out at Palaranda, which is not too far from here. We did see it a little bit in the back shot, but it's quite a spectacular piece of real estate out that way as well. And when we get to those cross events, there's some decent mountain biking to go on that particular course during the week for many of our athletes that could be watching today.
Oh, well, that sounds interesting. I've seen a few of the one of the team guys out there setting up some under bridges.
Yes.
They've done a whole heap of you know, landscaping or scaping in and around it to go that way as well. So yeah, it's and we made that left-hand turn now. So into the back streets. This is that technical aspect that we see. It gets quite narrow in through here, so having a bigger pack coming in and through, you know, you're going to be looking at each other, making sure you got the right lines and that stuff coming through. Most of them are all navigating that pretty smoothly.
And for people watching around the world, tomorrow, of course, a bit of a break for the athletes, but come Sunday, we're back with our relay events as well.
Yeah, the 2-man relay, so mixed relays. It's fast and furious racing. We like watching that side of it as well. So a lot of our athletes will be backing up and doing those as well. And another world title on the line there as well. So yeah, you can just see they're all just, I think this is our second pack.
Yep. Had one of the Australians just in there a little bit earlier than that.
Oh no, sorry, it's still the front pack. We're just being told. Yep, no, it's still the front pack. So yep, the Frenchmen, the Belgians, Spanish.
So yeah, there's a whole lot that's going to happen here as we come down to the end of the 3rd leg. You see the other pack there with a mixture of the teams coming a little bit further behind. So that gap was out at around 50 odd seconds. We'll keep an eye on that one as we go through. You start to see that breakdown now. So our lead group of 10
Head around again. We've got the bell lap, so they know that's the last lap. This will be interesting. The second pack there, you can see they're starting to take some time out of them, and That was the one thing I was going to say when I saw them coming the other way. If I was in that second pack and I saw them all sitting up, if these guys are smart enough, they'd put the drive down and you know, and be able to bridge some of that gap. But I think these guys, well, the front pack here they'll start looking at each other. They're going to start setting themselves up. There might be someone that knows they're not going to be able to run as quick as the other guys. They're going to start
that lead now.
They may take a risk or two to do that. A couple of the Aussies there. Luke Bate I saw in there. Experience of knowing that you need to be up there, and you're going to see, you know, like it's going to be a bit of a cat and mouse going through. Even though this isn't fast, sitting on the front is probably more safer than being at the back. So knowing where to sit in these packs, especially in this area here, which is what we're seeing, where that technical aspect's in through the strand, and then through these roundabouts and speed bumps going down towards the bottom end of the strand. So
an opportunity to hydrate now as they get towards the middle part of this bike final lap before they hit the run, and then it is a 2.5K sprint to the finish line to determine World Championships. What we do know at this stage is Martin Oldenhoven from Belgium, number 33, is the leading under 23 athlete at the moment. So the elite and men's under 23, the two breakdowns in this World Championship through the Gregory Street roundabout. Restaurants on the left, hotel on the right hand side, a place that locals love to come and hang out on the weekend.
And also spectators coming out to watch the World Championships as well. So we're seeing a lot of them out there in and around. So, yeah, they're still just holding that pace. There we go, looking at the spectators. What a perfect place to sit there and hydrate watching the race.
See a couple of very famous local identities up there. They'll be enjoying a beverage or 10.
Yep.
Knowing those guys.
No problem if that wind's still the same. He's going into a headwind here, so that's going to be...
And on his own.
And on his own, yep.
So he'll come down to that turn point. Swings up to the left. A little bit of a sharp rise here. Out of the saddle.
He's looking pretty fresh there, so, you know, there's a good little opportunity to get yourself ahead, but I think they'll close. I think they'll close this down.
Did have a wobble coming into that corner too.
And that's the thing, that's taking risks. That's what we see. So he's actually opened up a pretty good gap if that's the shot that...
Wow.
Yep, he's really... So they've let him go, which is interesting. There we go. Yes.
That is a big gap that opened up really quick. So now it's really put the pedal down. One more swinging roundabout to go before he heads back. About 100 metres away from that roundabout now. And gee, he has absolutely blitzed them.
And I'll tell you this thing. You watch how quickly this gap closes because they know that they want someone off the front by themselves. And I think this being that open area that they're going to get that opportunity. Oh no, there's actually a fairly big gap. He's opened it up. There we go.
Another rider has now started to catch up. So this is going to be interesting to see how this pans out now.
And I think the second pack, that chasing pack has caught him, so they're all together. So Aussie boys there sitting on the back. 15 seconds, they've got 15-second lead. So, all right, this could be the winning move. We've had the winning move in the females in the same spot, and this one's just gone a little bit earlier. But Nicholas Shins has put the medal down, and he's putting it out there, that's for sure.
The other thing that has happened here is we do now have 2 under-23 riders in the same pack. So Oldenhove was out on his own for quite some time, but Steph Korthoots from Belgium, so 2 Belgium riders now in that pack in the under-23. Shins now starts to loosen the shoes as he comes down to that final turn, back onto the strand to make his way down to transition and head off on the run. So
1 foot out. Yeah, 1 foot out. Both feet are out, so he's ready to rock and roll.
15 seconds. That's a great little gap that opened up so fast.
But like I said, take the opportunity, and anything can happen out of this. So Nicholas there doing a great job. He's about to go through. This is where they've been doing the U-turns. He'll be coming into that transition area very shortly. They'll run down the end.
You talked about this earlier. Transition 2. This is the most important transition. Now that he's got it organised, can he get this done right?
So they have closed that gap down, so it's not going to be 15 seconds like we had before. And he's expelled a lot of energy there to stay out there in front. And you can just see legs are a little bit heavy. Martin there, the Spanish, he's the next, he's second off that pack.
Gee, that tightened up quick too, didn't it?
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if some of these, they might all be coming out together. Helmet's in the box. Martin's about to rack his bike. Second shoe on. Nicholas Shin there, he's heading out. You can tell the leg turnover's not there.
Martin's right with him.
Martin's gone, he's out there in front, yes.
There you go, Martin, Javier Martin Morales from Spain. In a brilliant transition. Wow, that was super quick.
Yeah, he's put it down quickly. Around the roundabout, and then they're going out.
Gee, that was super good, hey?
Yeah, that's the difference between just that quick transition. He's opened himself up. He's got 1 second over. Shines Laurent from France there, 2 seconds. Lee Béarn, 6 seconds.
Then Blondel Hermans, Berings,
yeah, 7 seconds. So that opened up pretty quickly, seeing they all got off the bike together.
Less than a K. It was 15-second lead, and they got him at transition. And Javier Martin Morales from Spain, wearing the number 9, now through, gets the hydration, and around about 2 kilometres to go.
I think he could play basketball. He took his mouth and threw it and landed straight in the middle of that bin. So if he doesn't, he can always be a basketball player. He got the hoop there, that's for sure.
Battery's running out.
So the uphill starts to gap him out a little bit. Has he got enough to hold on with 2 kilometres to go? We know there's the ups and downs, the final boardwalk as well on this lap. Currently coming up to 47 minutes since race start. And in this pack too, the 2 under-23s battling it out for the under-23 tournament. Oldenhove and Korthoots, both from Belgium.
Yeah, we've got Laurent there. He's moved into second place. And he's ticking along. It looks like he's just starting to close that gap to Martin. And it looks like it's another French suit there in third. Can't tell by the name. It looks like fourth as well. So
that might be Choquer.
Yeah.
I think just looking at the beard there, it could be him. So out in front, Martin at the moment from Spain. This is going to come down to a sprint finish. I don't think he's going to be able to stay out there on his own for too much longer. These guys are coming at him.
No, I can just tell Laurent his leg turnover is that little bit quicker. But when you're in front, that's it. You've got control over it and going through that way. So they've got to chase him down. They've got to chase him down. But Lee Béarn, he's really motoring on this downhill section. He's really starting to close that gap to his countryman.
So the 2 Frenchmen now, side by side, trying to chase down the Spanish competitor, Javier Martin.
We make that U-turn, and then it's just that little bit of a false flat coming up from here.
Over the ripple strip as they come out of the chicane there for our runners.
He's been watching the supercars up here, so... But he's holding that gap. Looks like they're just starting to close that down now up this top hill, going up that hill. But Martin's still got that little bit of a gap there. So
yeah, can the 2 Frenchmen work together now to peg him back? Le Béarn has certainly put the Ks on now. He's strapped it up a little bit, although you can start to see a little bit of pressure on the faces. Le Béarn, Laurent, and Choquer, the 3 Frenchmen now, battling it out for the podium with Martin from Spain out in front.
Still just bridging. That's this what we're talking about. False little flat. They'll turn left up here. It'll be slightly downhill down to the U-turn. but all three of them, they're starting to come together. What we want to start looking at is what their body language is looking like. Let's see what happens if Libian goes straight past, and he will. He looks like he's got intent. Has Martin got a response? He's sitting there, he's looking around. Martin looks comfortable. Like I said, I think he's been out there in front and been in control. You can just see his head's nice and smooth, where Libian, you know, see his shoulders starting to shake around and that, but that might be his normal running stride. I don't know. I haven't seen him before. So
Choquer is also starting to catch up as well. The third of the Frenchman has caught up a little bit in that last little bit as well. So he's starting to come on the back of this pack as well. So the top three got a little bit of a challenger from Benjamin Choquer. He was the Duathlon World Champion 2019, 4-time Duathlon European Champion. Wouldn't ride him out just yet.
And his leg turnover was just a little bit more supreme than what we're seeing from there. But there you go. You can see he's just about to bridge that gap there. And this is the money part here coming up the boardwalk. This is the hilly section here. So
right on him.
First three in control. You can just tell that they're just looking at each other, waiting for something to happen.
Gets quite narrow though once we get on that boardwalk. So now you've just got to start to work out where is that point going to be where I can make an extra move. Will it be once we get off the boardwalk and do that downhill towards that final roundabout before we run into the chute?
Yeah, correct. But you know, the thing is you watch some races, someone will go at the bottom of the hill, one will wait till the top of the hill, and if you wait too long, then bang, you can open up that gap. But you can just see the gap just starting to open up there between third and fourth.
Can the Frenchman take out a top three podium? One, two, three. Well, there's another Frenchman's gone through to the lead. That would be Libian. A bit of a trip and a stumble.
Yep. And this is the hard section that we said. This is if you want to try and make a gap, this is probably where it's going to be.
Can Martin hold on with the challenge of the three Frenchmen around him? Laurent, Libian, Choquer also goes down underneath Martin now, and it goes into the lead.
There we go. It's going to come down to who can run downhill the fastest, and it's a different way of
Townsville just might have the legs, and you picked it, that Martin just had that form as he came down the hill. What has just happened?
And the stories that'll go on out of there as well, so it's awesome, you know. And that's the thing, that they're stoked for their countrymen coming away and you know, winning a title.
Yeah, Libian over on the right-hand side as well. Very shortly we'll head down and catch up with our Pete Murray. There's Bate from Australia. He was certainly in the mix for a little bit, but he certainly got dropped back fast.
Yeah, that first run, he was there with the first pack, and then halfway through the second one, just lost touch with them. Look, he burned a lot of cookies to do that, but you know, you got to put yourself into that position to try and stay there. And you know, credit to Luke.
And well done to Rowan Hickey. He certainly dropped back early, but he sort of forged his way through to probably be one of the first Australians through in that pack as well. So not done yet. A few more runners to come through. But we do have medal presentations coming up for all of our 4 categories as we wrap things up this afternoon. Acosta from Panama coming over the boardwalk section before he makes his way down the run. Down the hill, as you said, around about 500 metres once they come off the back of that.
One of our Japanese there, Kaneda, crossing the line there, 55.44.
Oh,
and he's spent.
Yeah, that hurts. Tough conditions out there.
That was Shug, I think, in Coalbridge. Both the Aussie boys, another one of the Japanese coming up the Kissing Point boardwalk.
Yeah, Okada from Japan. Yep. That final little roundabout that'll make their way onto the blue carpet in the World Championship here in Townsville today.
Tanaka there from Japan.
Yeah, tough day at the office for these boys.
You see it's edged on their face, how tough, the conditions out there are brutal on there.
Decent times out there today as well. There's no doubt about that. So standing by very shortly, we're going to go down and catch up with Pete Murray and get our first little chat with our race winners. Let's go down now to our course announcer in Pete Murray.
Down to the finish line with the world performance. What a race it was. It came down to what a race it was. Javier Martin Morales, congratulations.
I train a lot for the summer for that. I don't know what I say.
Really was very, very close.
Sur le sprint, ouais, bah, je savais que ça allait finir au sprint parce que déjà aux Europes, on a fini tous les deux au sprint. Encore une fois, c'est lui qui a gagné, donc c'est la jeunesse qui gagne aujourd'hui. Et à moi de faire mieux pour l'année prochaine à Pontevedra, chez lui en Espagne. Il faut que je batte un Espagnol en Espagne.
And finally, what does it mean to be silver medalist at the World Championship? A big, big race.
Comme j'ai dit tout à l'heure, c'est la 3e fois que je suis médaille d'argent. Donc c'est vrai que c'est une petite déception. J'aurais bien voulu l'or, mais voilà, après ça reste un chemin du monde, ça reste une médaille, donc je suis quand même très content.
Well, great to have you in Australia. What he did translate there was 3rd time silver medalist here at the World Championships. Thank you very much. Great race. Bonjour.
Bonjour indeed. Benjamin Choquet, so close, but yet so far as that sunset starts to kick in. I tell you what, our sunsets are some of the best on the planet. This is your results from the elite men.
Yeah, Javier Martin Morales there in 52.24. Benjamin Chochet's there in second sprint finish. And 3rd place went to Thomas Laurent there, 5 seconds behind. And we believe Pete's got Laurent there.
At the back of the finish line, 3rd place at the World Championships. Well done to Thomas Laurent. Congratulations, bronze medal, World Championship.
Yes, I'm very happy. It's my first selection in international duathlon. I finished 7 in Europe at Coimbra. So a first podium for me is very amazing. I'm very proud.
And it was a great race, very, very fast run, bike run, but the final 1 kilometre, it was everything you got.
Yes, I gave everything I had in the last run, and it was we saw everything, descent, hard, and it was very fast race. So I'm very happy with this result.
A podium at the World Championships is a great way, a great part of 2024. one of your best races that you've had?
It's my best race, so I can't wait to race again at international level.
And finally, Townsville plays host to the World Championships. Townsville, beautiful place and a great place to race.
Yes, I didn't see so much the landscape because it was so hard.
Well, maybe now you can sit down and enjoy, but thank you. Congratulations, third place today.
Great job, Pete Murray, down there with the bronze medalist in Thomas Laurent from France. We see him crossing the finish line, and he hung tough because that was a really tough group of four at one stage. Le Bien, the other Frenchman, dropped away to finish off in fourth place, but that is your podium there in elite men. Morales, Choquet, Laurent, Le Bien, just that little bit further behind, Arnaud Daly, and then dropping back to another one of the Frenchmen in Blondel, Hermont in sixth place. Further down the list, we see Rowan Hickey made it into 13th position, the first of the Aussies.
Yep, Nicholas Shines there. And we're just about to roll through our under-23s.
All right, we're going to go down to Pete Murray down at the finish line.
Under 23 duathlon champion today, Steph Courthouse. Congratulations, under 23 world champion. Sounds good.
Yes, it's for the second time I'm world champion and it feels really good. I didn't expect it today because with the first one it was very hard for me, but I did a lot of work on
champion. It was a great.
I'm very happy because I was not in the first group with the bike. So the last lap I was in the first group. And then, yes, I just gave it all on the last run and it ended up well. So I'm very happy.
And finally, great day, great race on day one. Are you hoping now to have a relax, have a rest and check out the beautiful Townsville?
So it will be very nice. We are going to see a lot, so yeah.
Steph, congratulations, my friend. Awesome.
There it is, Steph Courthouse from Belgium, with what we would expect his teammate Martin Oldenhove to come in second place. He looked like he had that one well and truly dusted, and as Steph referred to, he was out of that bunch for a long, long time. So Steph Courthouse followed by Martin Oldenhove. So the Belgians 1-2, and great news for Australia.
Take the challenge. Pete went up, coming in on there from the sunset through Castle Hill. It's magnificent.
Yeah, kissing point.
Yeah,
there's a real celebration of military history up there. The ties between Australia and the US going back into the war years. It was certainly one of the big locations with the barracks that were located down in this area before those barracks were given back to the people of Townsville, which is now a fantastic parkland area. We see down onto the finishing chute, down on Howard Street. Really is one of the great parts of the city. And just at the left is the rock pool, which is the saltwater pools where people swim, part of their fitness regime. Around about 2.5 k's along the Strand that people come and do their walks, specifically in the morning and again later in the afternoon, especially during summer when those high humidities kick in. Our high temperatures getting up 33, 34 degrees and 98%. There is the rock pool right now. It's just a stunning part of our city. big port of Townsville out the back, where we do get a lot of cruise ships, a lot of trade coming in through that area as well. And just on the peak, on the top right-hand side there, our brand new 5-star hotel in Ardo, which has the most amazing rooftop bar to look over all of this beauty. It is just stunning. It's only opened back in December. So it truly is an amazing city. It is the capital of North Queensland, and as we said earlier, the largest city in Northern Australia. So Brisbane, 1,400 kilometres away from here, south of here, the capital of Queensland. We're a long way from the capital, but beautiful part of the world.
Oh, it's magnificent. And we're seeing the perfect sunset over the hills there. The colours in the clouds, and it was a cloudy day today. This is cloudy, so you know it's picture perfect. Looking over the
that's Kissing Point once again,
yep, yeah, up over the top.
Don't forget, of course, those medal ceremonies coming up. And out the back, beautiful magnetic island, just 20 minutes from the city. We talked about this a little bit earlier. It's got Northern Australia's largest colony of koalas, 24 k's of walking trails, 23 beaches and bays. It is so beautiful, and a 20-minute ferry ride. You make sure you head over there at some stage while you're up here this week.
I'll have to do that. Or I'll come back up and do the magnetic island swim, where we get to swim from the island back across to here.
Which is quite, the history in that event is also pretty remarkable. They've been doing that for a long, long time, and some great champions have come out of that swim, Magnetic Island to Townsville swim, well regarded in that open water swimming. You'd rather do that than swim up the Seine, I would have thought.
I would agree. Looking down to go get some breakfast this morning, saw quite a lot. When we used to race, you know, you're in control. You can do what you want. Yep. When you're coaching, it's a lot harder because you're watching things unfold. So you get nervous for them, and that. So, you know, like some days things go to plan, some don't. Today did go to plan, and she had a great a day out there. So Hannah Pollock got third. So sitting there last night at dinner, I said if she went top 3, she gets ice cream tonight. So my shout for ice cream tonight. So.
That is fantastic. So we've certainly got the sights over Townsville. If you are watching today, make sure you tune in next Sunday when we do get to that long course, because we do certainly on the bike ride go into a little bit more of the city area, some very amazing landmark areas. We talked about having the supercars, which is our motor racing circuit here, where we've been racing since 2009. They will be on part of that course as part of that event, riding past our stadium, our Queensland Country Bank Stadium, home of the Cowboys, who are playing, as we mentioned, in the National Rugby League. They're playing at home tomorrow night, taking on the Canberra Raiders, who come up from one of the coldest parts in the country in winter to one of the warmest parts of the country in winter, which is quite a task, but that is going to be a great battle. There will be a big crowd for that. You coming to the footy tomorrow?
Oh, I'll probably try my best if there's any tickets left. I'm assuming it's going to be a sold-out one, so you know people, Minty, so that's all right. But also, just want to shout out to our junior athletes. So our junior male, Fletcher Medway was our champion from Australia. Devan De Veers from South Africa in second, and Caleb Wagner from New Zealand was in third. And our females from New Zealand, Lulu Johnson took out our female title. Lucy Francis was second from Australia, and Hannah Pollock third from Australia.
Yeah, so congratulations to those. Fantastic. All right, we're just about ready to go down for the first of our presentations for the World Championships. Let's go to the podium right now.
Welcome to the Elite Women Medal Ceremony of the 2024 World Triathlon Duathlon Championships, Townsville. Well, presenting medals today will be Antonio Aramani, the World Triathlon Secretary General. Presenting flowers will be the Honourable Scott Stewart, member for Townsville. In third place, and the winner of the bronze medal, representing Belgium, Jean Dupont. In second place, and the winner of the silver medal, representing Australia, Rochelle Hill. In first place, and the winner of the gold medal at the 2024 World Triathlon Duathlon Championships, Townsville, representing France, Marion Legrand. Well, ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the playing of the national anthem of France.
So our first of the medal presentations, Toby, done and dusted. The elite women. That was a fantastic result, and again, so good to see Rochelle Hill on that podium, getting the silver medal. That will be great for her future. And you know, she was beaten by a very experienced French competitor today in Marion.
Oh, that's it. But you know, the smiles on the faces of all three ladies up there. That showcased how important it is to win a medal at the World Championships, and you know, that's something that can never be taken away from them.
Big smiles from the crowd down there as we get the podium set for our next presentations. That is also coming up in just a moment as the sun starts to drop a little bit in the background here in Townsville. Good to see people sticking around for these presentations. There have been good crowds out on the track today, which is fabulous to see. And I'm sure the numbers will be back. You know, given today is a work day, Sunday for the para and the mixed is going to be fantastic. There will be a lot of people around for a Sunday on the Strand for sure.
And if you're one of the locals around here and you listen to the broadcast, come down and watch.
Yeah.
You know, this is some of the world-class athletes that you'll see, not just in elite racing, but also age group racing across the whole board.
Jump onto the website and check out all of the details of all the events coming up. You can sort of keep an eye on the website to follow all the things that are happening here through World Triathlon. And then, as I said, the coverage continues Sunday with the para and the mixed, and then, of course, looking ahead to the following Sunday with the long course event. That will be fully broadcast as well, so we hope you join us for that. Don't go too far away. Our next presentations, the men's medals, are coming along very, very shortly. Again, look at those colours start to come up. All right, let's go back down to Pete Murray for our next presentation.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the elite men's medal ceremony of the 2024 World Triathlon Duathlon Championships, Townsville. Presenting medals today will be world champion Mr. Miles Stewart, also from the World Triathlon Executive Board. Presenting flowers will be Councillor Andrew Robinson from Townsville City Council. In third place, and the winner of the bronze medal, representing France, Thomas Chocard. Lawrence. Sorry, Thomas. In second place, and the winner of the silver medal, representing France, Benjamin Chocard. In first place, and the winner of the gold medal at the 2024 World Triathlon Duathlon Championships, Townsville, representing Spain, Javier Martin Morales. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand if able for the playing of the national anthem of Spain. Once again, a congratulations to our elite male. We ask you to stay on the dais. We are now going to invite our elite female back to the dais for the champagne celebration.
Well, the champagne is not too far
So,
away.
gentlemen, please stay.
Here
Back
comes
to the dais for champagne celebration.
Yeah, here comes the celebrations. The champagne is not too far away with our elite women and our elite men. This is one of your favourite parts, isn't it, Toby?
Oh, yeah.
Spray that champagne.
Yeah. And Javier Martin, mate, you can see the smile on his face. He's absolutely stoked to take out that title, and he's...
I tell you what, Benjamin has finally got a smile on his face. The silver medalist from France. He's now smiling because he knows the champagne is coming. And I can see he's practiced that many times. The bottles are being handed out to our podium, men and women, the elite world champions of duathlon here in Townsville, Australia, 2024.
I'll be running very quickly.
Pop the bottle.
They're going to get wet very shortly.
There we go. The shake is on. Here we go.
Yep.
The champagne sprays in Townsville. It's celebration time for our world champion podium. A magnificent day today. Marion Legrand from France winning the elite women's. And of course, Javier Martin Morales from Spain, your men's champion. Time for a little bit of a taste after one in the eye. And Javier will go and find his crew and give them a bit of a spray too, I would imagine. Yeah, there it is, over the coach. Beautiful work.
The French are happy. There we go. We got first, second and a third, so they got all the podiums in the male and the female.
How good is that? One of each.
Look at that. That's it. The Spanish are very, very happy there. That's great to see.
Far be it from the Spanish to celebrate. They know a good celebration, don't they?
No, that's it.
Great scenes over our presentation area. Castle Hill starting to get that nice red glow. It is pink granite, so it does shine up beautifully. We're not too far away from our next presentation. So still to come, our under-23 women, again featuring Australia's Rochelle Hill, and the under-23 men with Rowan Hickey, who will make his way onto the podium. So a couple of Australians in our under-23 celebrations. What a great place for them to start their careers.
Oh, it's awesome. You know, like I said, just to get to a world championship, you know, some people don't even get that chance, but then to stand on top of the podium as well at the same time, like, you know, some of them, it's a dream come true for a lot of them. There's a lot of work that goes in between, behind the scenes for a lot of our athletes, support staff, you name it, federations that are involved in that kind of stuff. And we're slowly losing our son, but we're going back down to Pete for our under-23 medals ceremony.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the under-23 women's medal ceremony of the 2024 World Triathlon Duathlon Championships, Townsville. Presenting medals today will be the Honourable Scott Stewart, member for Townsville. Presenting flowers will be Antonio Aramani, the World Triathlon Secretary General. In third place, the winner of the bronze medal, representing Australia, Aspen Anderson. In second place, and the winner of the silver medal, representing Belgium, Jean Dupont. In first place, and the winner of the gold medal at the 2024 World Triathlon Duathlon Championships, Townsville, representing Australia, Rochelle Hill. Well, ladies and gentlemen, please stand, if capable, for the playing of the national anthem of Australia. Once again, congratulations to our under-23 World Championship podium finishers.
Beautiful shots over Townsville. There's that boardwalk we've seen a number of times today. The under-23 women's podium done for the World Championship Duathlon, and 2 Australians on the podium. A great result for Rochelle Hill, taking out her first World Championship, which is absolutely fantastic. There it is, that beautiful drone shot across the top of Kissing Point. Absolutely spectacular. You see the flags there flying. That is part of that honour to the Australian and United States tie, the link. There's been a lot that's gone into that celebration up there. It's very historic, that whole area. It was a position of many forts going back, way back into the late 1800s in that position there. The rock pool on the left and the fly down to our blue carpet for the World Championship. And of course, the presentations of the under-23 women done. The men's not too far away, Toby.
No, that's it. And you can see the smiles on the faces as well. Aspen Anderson, another one, a junior athlete there, racing in the under-23s, another name to watch out for. But we're throwing back down to Pete for our under-23 male presentation.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the under-23 men's medal ceremony of the 2024 World Triathlon Duathlon Championships, Townsville. Presenting medals today will be Councillor Andrew Robinson from Townsville City Council. Presenting flowers will be Miles Stewart, World Triathlon Executive Board member. In third place, and the winner of the bronze medal, representing Australia, Rowan Hickey. In second place, and the winner of the silver medal, representing Belgium, Martin Oldenhovey. First place, and the winner of the gold medal at the 2024 World Triathlon Duathlon Championships, Townsville, representing Belgium, Steph Courthouse. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise, if capable, for the playing of the national anthem of Belgium. Well, there they are, our 1, 2 and 3 for the under-23 under-23 male. We now ask you to stay on stage, gentlemen. We will invite our under-23 podium, 1, 2 and 3 to come forward to enjoy the under-23 male and female champagne celebration.
So once again, the fun of the champagne spray. Not bad when you've just become a world champion, stand on top of the podium or be anywhere on the podium and get to spray that champagne. I guess we all dream of those opportunities when you can celebrate a victory like today.
Oh, that's it. That's all part of the show of what goes on. And a couple of them are struggling to get the tops off. And
so we've got the Aussies on one side and Belgium's on the other. There's the spraying of the champagne for our under-23 women and under-23 men. Duathlon World Champion podiums here in Townsville, Australia, 2024. What a celebration.
Yeah, I think the Belgians won the corking, decorking, that's for sure. So
a little more history. We probably don't open as much champagne as just pop a beer.
No, exactly.
Whereas Belgium, you'd expect a little bit more when it comes to the champagne. Pretty happy to have a go at that too. He said it's okay.
Yeah. Yep.
What a fantastic day it's been. The first day of competition of our World Triathlon Multisport World Championships. Total of 19 championships up for grabs. Over 3,000 athletes here today, and it has been a fantastic day of competition. We started off with our elite women and under-23 women. It was just fantastic. We're going to have a look at the men's competition rehacked. So let's take a look at some of the highlights from our men's duathlon today in Townsville as the camera pans across the fantastic part of the city along the Strand. And a big field kicked us off, Toby, to kick off their first 5K run.
Yeah, it was pretty frantic there at the start, and Chachet, he set the pace. He controlled that first run. Delhi there, sitting in there. You know, we had the main people that we expected to be up near the front and controlling through. You know, Rowan Hickey there making his way. He was up there for a fair bit of it as well. You know, like, it was a good spectacle. And this was the spectacle part of the whole race, wasn't it? Out there on Kissing Point Bridge, where we saw a lot of movement, a lot of toing and froing. And coming through, Libahan, he made a, you know, he went to the front. He kind of kept pulling it through and going that way. But the Frenchmen, they were in control for most of the day. They were setting the paces.
It really was a battle of two countries for a little while, wasn't it? Particularly in most of these legs, the French and the Belgium contingents. But there was the lone Spanish contender who would go on to win the race in Martin, who was in amongst it. So here's the transition off that 5K run leg into the bike leg. 20 Ks, 4 laps of the circuit that runs along the Strand. And there he is, Martin, who got away to a quick start. And then all of a sudden got a bit frustrated and dropped to the back. We wondered what was going to happen to him.
Yeah, and we thought he actually made a mistake by having the shoes on and running out. And I said the same thing too. But you know, he had the plates, and when we look back at it, that was a winning move.
Yeah,
you know, coming into it. So, you know, there was a lot of frustration out here on the bike. You know, we had a few going off, one going off solo. You know, trying to come through. You know, and going through that way, and then. Shines there, he went solo for a while as well. You know, nearly come a cropper on that corner.
Now he opened up a 15-second gap, and we thought that was really going to be a game breaker. He certainly looked to have it, and it wasn't long after this, 15 seconds at that point. But then all of a sudden, when we got to transition, it changed very quickly.
And that's the dynamics of this racing. We got one sole person out there, and you can see the gap there that we had, and he was able to, you know, they bridged it back pretty quickly and into transition, and this was where Martin won it. You know, he had the plates.
And he got out in front of him. I just think that is absolutely amazing racing.
And that's what's it. And that's the thing you got to look at. You know, you might lose a little bit of speed by not having proper cycle shoes on the bike. But in this respect, Libahan, he had to go. You know, he tried to put the pace down. You can just see Martin there just sitting in control. And Chachet went through, and
for a lone runner with 3 countrymen running together, for him to be able to come through that is pretty exceptional, because at any of those stages there, the Frenchman could have shut him down. But this was the point where you said his form was looking pretty good.
Yeah, and I just had an inkling that he was going to, and you could just see like Chachet had no more gears, and then Martin had that gear and came through and took out the world title. And I couldn't have happened. He was so happy when he crossed that line and finished as well.
Yeah, that was absolutely stunning. A stunning finish to our men's elite duathlon here in Townsville. Well, Toby Coote, thank you so much for joining us today. It's great to get your commentary. The expert certainly helps to hear that information. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We hope you've enjoyed the opening day of competition in the World Triathlon Multisport World Championships Townsville 24. Check your guides for what comes next. The mixed is going to be amazing on Sunday our time here in Australia. Have a great weekend. We'll see you then. And make sure you come and join us in Townsville sometime soon. My name's Glenn Minturn. Goodbye for now.
Yeah.